Let's do this. Actually, I need to log into my other account here. What's up, everyone? How would boomers use tech? Okay. Let's go. What's up? Hamoon is here. The Hamoonery. Okay, cool. We're set. We're live, y'all. So the real question is, did you guys even bother playing the drop today? Because to be honest, I didn't. I didn't even bother playing either one. Honestly, the first one, I was just kind of like looking at it, like, should I play it? I'm like, nah. And the second one, I honestly just straight up forgot. I opened my app, and it was like an hour away, and I'm like, okay, maybe I'll look at it or whatever. But then just ended up just not doing it at all. Yo, what's up? Still playing around with Restream. Kind of hope you guys are liking it. Still some things I do and don't like about it, but I think they're mutes. Interesting. Seems like the only way I can kind of keep the music up is if I have this open, which is pretty annoying. I would like to be able to have music while I don't. Can I do this? This is still okay. There we go. I think I figured it out. Can you guys hear the music? I can maybe turn it up a bit, or if it's too loud, let me know. Deep Calm saying, "Let's go!" Yeah, hell yeah. Mendes flips. Got the art piece on the 4-minute rebound. Got him at 248, then sold for 280. Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome. Take the quick, what's it called? I don't know, 70 gem profit, 75 gem profit. Why not? Pass on both drops. Yep. Missed second drop, grab first. Nice. Did you get a good one, Crispy? Crispy? No, I meant B. Christopher. You get any? Did you get a good one? I was almost considering buying the uncommon because, like I said, it kind of matches the colors of like ecomi wiki and stuff, right? Like, kind of matches the colors of my logo. But I think I just ended up just passing on it for the most part. Sorry. Got a 48-minute rebound on the poster, then sold it. Lost 4 gems worth the W. Yeah, I saw you on Dino stream, and God, he was talking so much shit about the drop. I don't think about, I know he's not talking shit about the artist itself, but it's just like, all right, it's a little bit pricey for an artist piece and all that stuff, and it's honestly really hard to stand out as an independent artist on this platform when you have like DC and Marvel and Disney and Back to the Future, like all these big hitting IPs. It's hard to like stand out, like, or at least like make significant moves in the market and stuff, or whatever it is. So I was considering buying a couple of the uncommons because I knew I'm like it's going to go up eventually. I probably should have, looking at the market now, but it is what it is. Bought the pink and blue rack aftermarket for 33 gems. That's good. Maybe I should still get one anyway. I honestly think it actually, like, next big announcement, it's just going to get gems squeezed down to like 25 gems. And I think that's just what I'm going to, that's probably when I'm going to try and buy it. Maybe. I don't know. How did y'all do on today's drop? Totally spaced. Out on the second drop, but landed the first with ultra rare 515. Sold it just a while ago for 183. Awesome, dude. So that's like 120 gem profit, maybe a little bit less than that. That's awesome, dude. Yeah, I totally spaced on the second drop. I did exactly what you did. I didn't attempt the first drop, really. But the second drop, I didn't watch the stream, but I saw Dino's replay of him actually winning the first drop. He's like, should I even click buy on this? Like, I don't know. Should I not even bother? And of course, not only did he get, I think, a common or an uncommon, he also got it delivered like at the very, very end. So he couldn't like, take advantage of selling it early. Yeah, pink and blue uncommon is the best one in my opinion. I think so too. Did you do any flipping? Made some EV profit, bought 3 posters for 100 to 110 and sold them for 200. That's awesome, dude. Not really. Like I said, I kind of just spaced out on the second drop. I wasn't really following the market that closely. Plus, um, yeah, when it's that low, you could probably flip that and sell it, right? Um, that's super easy money for the most part. I probably would if I was actually paying attention to the market. I think by the time I got on the app, or like I remembered the second drop in the secondary market, I think it was already like 180-ish or something like that. But I did hear people say it got as low as like 110 or 120. I'm like, dude, that's that's a good buy price. Dino's stream was funny as fuck. Yeah, I agree. He's just his laugh and just the way he just doesn't care. There's like no filter in that guy's head, which is awesome. I mean, there is. He tries not to curse and tries to keep the streams PG or kid friendly as possible. But his streams are hilarious, dude. When you guys comment and just go all out, it is just freaking hilarious. Like I remember we were talking about like the FE tags not too long ago, and one of someone's questions was like, would you rather have 3 waltz and have the tags get taken away, or own 3 steamboat or like 10 steamboat willies and get like the FE tag added? I'm like, what kind of like? I just love how I just assumed that Veve's just like adding and subtracting tags just randomly, which is totally not what they're doing. But yeah, I just thought that was just those questions are funny. Like the questions that the Palace people come up with. I'm a Hammond, you come up with some funny questions too, or like just statements that people just come up with in that chat. It's pretty funny. And I would like honestly my streams to be. I'd like to think I'm a funny guy. I like to think that I have a good sense of humor, or I like to just kick it with you guys occasionally. So, yeah, maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll do some more. I still kind of waiting for more members to do like an actual like membership stream or whatever, like personally. So, why is okay? There it goes. I was like, why is my chat not updating? I completed the set for weapons. Got a comment on drop. And rest, I overpaid a little to complete the set earlier today. I should have waited a little. Yeah, I kind of learned that same lesson too. It's like I could have waited, and yeah, I didn't buy anything, but that's what I've kind of learned with a lot of the comics or just drops in general. Sometimes it's if you just wait a bit longer in the day, people. I think if there's when people do list it and all of them are delivered, even then I do think a lot of people wait just to see where prices are going to end up, and then prices typically dip down. So. And then again, there's, not everyone that gets a delivery, like today's drop. Let's say you had the posters, there's 5,000 of them. It's not like all 5,000 people that won are just sitting there waiting for it to get delivered. Like there's probably 1,000 people that get it, that are actually waiting. And there's probably another 1,000 people that are just like, look, I'm not going to wait till the market opens. I'm just going to get on Veve an hour, 2 hours from now, 3 hours from now, and just post it for whatever the floor is. And hopefully it's profitable, Can't assume what everyone's going to do, but Brayden, been holding gems for a minute now. I have to scoop a mini. I had to scoop a mini at 240. Couldn't pass it up. Hell yeah, dude. Dude, that's a great price. I mean, I can pull up the chart really quick. Yeah, I think that's, as far as I know, that's her all-time low. Could prices drop a bit further? Part of me does think, I mean, that the MTL squeeze has already been happening, has been happening for quite some time. Let me do this layout. Cool. Yeah, so here's a mini. Yeah, so you bought it at 250 today, which is awesome. It doesn't, yeah, like you said, it doesn't register. The chart doesn't register a price lower than 250. Yeah, because it probably was listed and you probably caught it within the first 30 seconds to a minute when it was on the market. So you scooped it, which is smart, right? Because these prices that are on ecomi wiki, these are just snapshots on the hour, right? So even though, like, if we look here between February 8th and 10th, let's just assume they're a day apart, the price went up 30 gems or whatever it is. But even if we zoom in, like even if we zoom in here, it's just taking snapshots, right? So who knows? Maybe there was one that was sold for 710, but it just doesn't pick it up because it's happening between the hour. Even then, I'm still not exactly sure what this previously sold like checkered line is. Not checkered, but this like hashed line. I don't know if that's showing the highest one, that like the highest priced one that was sold, but then again, it shows it down here. But then again, if the floor is like this, that doesn't mean that this was necessarily like, maybe there was one that was sold below floor during that time. And, you know, if we look over here, there was a 517 mini that was bought, you know, for X amount of price over. So still not 100% sure what this hashed line is, but yeah. Yeah, because right now it says minis at 277, which is ridiculously cheap. I agree. Yeah, so right now I've actually been selling off some stuff, mostly my comics. Trying to remember like what else I sold off recently. I'm up to like 2.2, 2.3K right now in my vault, or my wallet, I should say. Yeah, just shy of 2.3K. What have I been selling? I think mostly comics, just like extra comics I've had. Like there was a time where I was like, oh, I want a comment of every comic, but it's just like not. It's just hard to keep up with that like constantly. What was some other stuff I sold? What was this? Okay, so that was a Marvel Spotlight, and that was the other thing. I was selling off a lot of my Marvel Spotlight comics. First appearance of Ghost Rider. I bought so many extras of those. I still have one ultra rare, one, I think two rares, couple uncommons, and then I think still like 4 or 5. Let me see here. I know you guys can't see it on screen. I'm just looking on it on my phone. Okay, so I have one ultra rare, 2 rares. No, 2 uncommons, 2 rares, 4 commons of the first appearance of. And this is the exact reason why I stacked a bunch of them, because I just knew they were going to sell and do well. And I still have a few more to sell if I wanted to. I might end up just keeping that Ghost Rider for a long time, or I might sell it off because I do think prices of stuff across the board could get a bit cheaper. But something like Minnie Mouse, like, I just don't see her going much lower than where she is now. Like, even if she did go down to like, I think the lowest she would hit is like 230. So 250 pickup is really, really good. But if you pit like, could she go lower? Yeah, but it'll probably be very, very brief. Paid $194 for the poster. I don't know why people listed it under retail straight off the drop. Why go for it and just list below? I have no idea. I think people are just trolling or memeing or whatever it is. Damn, 200K vaults a whale? No, I'm just trolling on this. Mostly is because in order for me, because I did this myself personally, to make it easier for me to track certain comics that I'm like kind of keeping my eye on, I had to add them to my vault. So where it says like my comics, I really wanted to keep a close eye on like all the secret rares and ultra rares of comics that I think personally are valuable, like Marvel Spotlight, the first appearance of Doc Ock, first appearance of Doctor Doom, first appearance of Green Goblin. Like I have all these as ultra rare because that's the only way you can actually set it up to have just a customizable list like this, rather than going to comics and like typing in their names individually or whatever. So yeah, so that's part of the reason why the price is inflated. I apparently have a secret rare of like all the best comics, and on top of that, I think I just like I added a bunch of stuff and I was kind of playing with the vault value, but like this is not accurate at all whatsoever. I'm like in the low-ish, let's say like 5 digits, probably my vault value's worth if I had to guess. It was higher, obviously, not long ago, but only thing I can think of as to why they are being sold for less than the original is to sell gems off market. That too, yeah. Doesn't matter if you, because technically the way you're treating gems, right? But even then, like, you're still just losing gems, right? You would just sell the 200 gems that you have to buy it in the first place, right? Like, so why sell it for less? Like, if you're going to sell the gems, just sell the 200 instead of selling it and ending up with 150 at the end of it. I don't know. That's weird. Exec, you speak. What's up, dude? Hold on. What's going on, everyone? Braden, have you grabbed my Ultimate Fallouts? Have you grabbed any Ultimate Fallout 4s? I have not. Not yet. I'll be quite honest. I'm being kind of greedy and just like really hoarding all of my gems right now because like I said, I do think prices are going to go down a bit more. I think the collectibles will. Comics, I'm not sure. I think comics might. I think comics like could continue to rise and like yeah they'll get squeezed down a little bit. Put an L, so it's Ultimate Fallout. What are you talking about? For like the commons, the uncommons, just any of them at this point? Commons are actually below 100. They were closer to 100 earlier. The rare is 400. The ultra rare dropped not too long ago. I remember someone was asking about like, oh, which uncommon should I buy? Not uncommon, but like which ultra rare should I buy? Daredevil, #1, Ultimate Fallout, or like Fantastic Four #1. I think those were the ones he was asking about. And this was at 900 not long ago, so it's dipped a tiny bit. But no, I have not purchased any of these, mostly just because I'm kind of holding out just for any kind of MTL announcement or another big IP drop, because it's actually been kind of a minute since we had a big IP drop, right? I would say the biggest one we've had somewhat recently is like Black Panther, but even, well, Aston Martin, yeah, that one caused a big one just because the box price itself was so huge. Mike Muelier. I think people end up listing below retail because they hope for a better rarity or a low mint, and number don't get it, so we'll sell it. I think so too, Mike. You know, and they're just not patient enough to just, because what like if I was playing that game personally, I guess if you really wanted the gems back immediately, you just eat the loss, right? But you could also just list it for like 205, just put it, or technically in this case, just put it for 65 gems and just wait for it to eventually go back up in price, right? You'll basically break even or make tiny profit, but it could take some time. Yeah, I think that's what people used to do back in the day with like Marvel Comics #1, right? Because I think back then it was, I could have sworn Marvel Comics was always blind box, I believe. So back then you couldn't just buy all the secret rares, but back then you just clicked buy on the market, and if you just happened to be lucky and get a secret rare, you kept it, right? But if you didn't get one or a common back then, people just sold it back on the market for like 2 or 3 gems. Just so they could basically re-roll again, right? So yeah, it doesn't show the prices on here. I think that's only for like collectibles and stuff, but that's probably the case, I would imagine. Can you guys hear the music, by the way, or is it too low, too high? If that's too high, let me know, but good idea, says Genuine. Yes. Choo Choo, what's up? Theo Remy. Donald, Daisy, or Homer and Bart GM. Let's check it out. Failure of Control is just chilling just below 200. Uncommons at 35. Not bad. Melham, what's up? Hide messages on the stream. I don't know. Okay, so we got gold moments pulled up. Hide this really quick. Asking that Donald and Daisy or Homer and Bart. Are they like the same price now? Okay, they're like 200 gems apart, right? Yeah, they're about 200 gems apart. 13,000. This is 12,000. To be honest, I don't think there's, personally right now, it's going to take some time to mature, but if you're going to hodl for a long time, I do think Donald and Daisy is going to do better long term. I know Homer and Bart was part of that first series set, or like not first series, but those first series of sets, if that makes sense. I think long term, Donald and Daisy is going to do better than Homer and Bart. And on top of that, it's also 200 gems cheaper. So like you can legitimately buy that plus 2 Ultimate Fallout common comics or whatever other combination of things you want to buy for under 200 gems. Like it's actually pretty crazy. So that's my take. Theo, that's just me personally. I do think in the long run, given enough time, like Homer and Bart they're gonna be better priced than Donald and Daisy, probably for 4 or 5 months, like maybe 6 months. But I do think Donald Daisy will overtake Homer and Bart. Already read that, Milham. Thanks for stopping by. Do you say that there was an internet movie database listing for a new Marvel Zombies show? I'm picking up some zombie comics. Zombies comics? Huh. There's an internet movie database listing. I don't know what that is. Internet movie database? Listing for a new Marvel Zombies show. I'm picking up. Isn't that like just the What If series? I could have sworn I saw like, zombie Captain America and stuff like that. So I'm not sure what you mean by that. But Disease for Dinner, that sounds interesting. Sounds cool. Price prediction for ultra rare gun racks? I have no idea. Independent artists are so hard to determine. There's nothing to compare them against, especially the ultra rare one. I don't know, to be quite honest. Given enough time, yeah, they'll probably go up. If anything, if there's... Some people are kind of speculating to possible airdrops as well. I'm not sure if that will be tied to the gun racks, or potentially maybe there's a series of posters that are going to be coming up. Because Matt, I think is Gondek, I think that's his name, did say like, I'll see you guys in the future. So far, independent artists have been the ones to really push. They're really the only ones that have done airdrops, as far as I know. So there is that. So if you do have the gun rack set, there's a small chance for an airdrop. But even then, if I will say this, if there is an airdrop, as far as I've seen with serial killers and there's another airdrop. Serial killers had 2 airdrops, but I could have sworn there was like another airdrop that happened for like another independent artist. But from what I've seen is like every time there's an airdrop, people immediately sold their sets because their utility of an airdrop is now exhausted. There's nothing left to, they're done. Like their value of, the speculation of it or the hopes of it doing an airdrop is done. Now's the time to sell it off. And if you do get an airdrop, sell it off immediately, because the airdrops have done nothing but go down and down and down and down since the second they drop. So try and build off the hype, and especially if you get a good mint number, just try and get rid of it immediately, because I don't know, like let's look up Lucky, because that's actually one that's not bad. Serial killers, and yeah, this is the other airdrop that happened. No, Lucky's not an airdrop, right? Lucky's not I'm thinking Lucky Charmer. Or Charmer? What is that? I don't remember what it is. Yucky, not Lucky. Yucky the Charmer. This was an airdrop. Lucky wasn't, as far as I know or remember. Music sounds good? Okay, thanks. But Santi, yes, I couldn't tell you with the like ultra rare gun racks, dude. Music is good, thank you. I'm with you on the comics. I have a number of SRs and some Grail comics. I have that I'm holding on to for the comic in showroom announcement. We'll sell all but Grails during uptick then. Yeah, that's a good call. Julie, Homer or Donald GM? I think I already answered that. You probably asked literally as I was answering it when the other person commented. So yeah, I would say Donald. If you're planning on holding it longer than like 6 to 8 months, Donald and Daisy, in my opinion. Mine is good. I don't know if the others think so, but this sounds perfect to me. Okay, cool. Just making sure. With ultra rare comics, you can go for real good mint numbers or the floor price. With the ultra rare comics, you go for a good mint number or the floor price. I just go floor price, unless if I'm paying, I would say like the max I would ever pay for like a higher mint would be like 10%. So like, let's say the ultra rare of a comic is $650. I might pay around 700, like 710 at the most. If it's like a really low mint number, I'm talking low 3 digits, like 100 and something, right? Or if it's like below 200 or something. That's just my take on it. If I'm going to really invest in like a low mint, I'm not really like a low mint hunter myself. I just get floor price, right? That's just what I do. I just go for floor price. Mint numbers, as you get lower and lower, the amount of people that you can appeal to or sell to gets lower and lower as well. If you're going for, whether you're going for a flip or a long-term hold, I think my take is just buy floor. But I mean, if you got some real money to shell out, or if you have the means of like continually adding fiat or gems to the app month over month, you have a well-paying job, or you do have, assets, whatever it is. And you can do that, sure, go for low mints. I mean, look at Mr. Pags. Like most of the people that are very low mint hunters are very, very wealthy or have some sort of means to put a lot of money in the app. So unless you can kind of do that yourself, it's, in my opinion, it's sometimes it's better to buy 5 or 6 ultra rare comics than get 2 low mint ultra rare comics, right? That's my take. Let's see here. Oh yeah, Yucky Charmer. This is what I was going to look at. And so the reason why it pumped here was because this was just during the era, because the first 3 weeks of January, literally everything pumped on the app. So this is a bit of like an anomaly. Like literally everything pumped on the app. So it just kind of rode this way, but it's just every single airdrop thing just starts high and then just goes low. I highly doubt anything like this would ever happen recently. If like there was an airdrop over the next month or so, like I doubt it's going to go down and then it's just going to double in price. Like I just don't see that happening, despite the low mints or whatever it is. So it's, in my opinion, like if you do have a series or a set of like independent artists and they do an airdrop, like legitimately just sell everything, and you could probably just rebuy it all right back and probably make like 20-30%. Steamboat, Mickey common or Mickey card for long term? Interesting. Are they the same price now? If I just type in Mickey, lucky I can pull them up together. Let's see. So $350 for the card. And then how much for Steamboat Willie? A little bit more. I would stick with the card. Like less mints. Not that it matters, but it does have a tag. Like I do think, even though this is like Steamboat Willie is like super iconic, like don't get me wrong, like I do think any Disney / like Mickey lover will want a Steamboat Willie. At the same time, like this is just such a good collector's item. Like the lenticular cards are just so good. Like you've heard it all, right? It has the signature on the back, has like the picture in the front, the lenticular thing with like the room, because the room also like matches their personality, right? Like the Goofy one's kind of like a rundown kind of place or whatever. I forgot what Mickey's looks like, but it kind of like the rooms fit their personality as well, right? Plus there's the signature on the back, the gold trim, the music, like it's just such a collector's thing. As of right now, like the Steamboat Willie's a bit higher, but I do think it's hard to say, because I do think the lenticular cards could have hit, like the Mickey one, maybe could have pushed this high if we were not in the heart of a gem squeeze. And again, I think the reason for this pump is because we're right there, 3rd week of January, everything pumped. So I do think common Steamboat Willie, considering 20,000 mints or just shy of it, should it have pumped that high? Maybe, maybe not. But everyone was just like in such a spending mood back then. Honestly, you can't go wrong with either. I'm kind of just leaning more towards the Mickey card, just because like the uniqueness, as well as it's a bit cheaper, and it's just such like a collector's thing. I mean, Jaunty Jig, I will say 6 months from now, you'll probably have an easier time picking up a Jaunty Jig than you will a Mickey lenticular. I think that, like 6 months from now. Let's see. When you see one Marvel comic, when you see one Marvel comic comment on 1 year, I couldn't tell you, dude. I mean, we can look up the charts, because there's so many things. There's so many catalysts that are going for comics. It just depends on when it's released, right? And how soon, and the future of comics and stuff. Because a year from now, like if we announce comics in showrooms over the next couple weeks, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, yeah, all comics are going to get a nice little boost. And if there's Veveverse and we can do stuff with comics, like you said, a year from now, that's a thing as well. But then again, imagine if exactly a year from now, so on March 1st or March 4th of next year, they announce like, oh yeah, we're going to do Amazing Fantasy #1 drop, which is the first appearance of Spider-Man, which is like the grail of grails when it comes to physical comic book collectors, from what I've heard. I don't know if that's 100% true, but from what I've heard, yeah, a lot of things that would cause a gem squeeze, and that would cause Marvel Comics to go down. Not a ton, but yeah, a year from now, I couldn't tell you, dude. I don't even know what Marvel Comics is going to be a week from now, let alone a year from now. So, but if I had to throw a number out there, what has it touched so far? It's touched 700 gems. And I'll be honest, like this all-time high thing, I think is a bit of an anomaly. Like it touched that high point, and there was some resistance at 570, 520, 480. So it's probably a little bit closer between like these two on the way down, so like 500. But a year from now, anywhere between, gosh, like 1,000 to like 2,500 gems. I have no idea, because we could also just get like a ton of like major comic book collectors. It could be announced like next Comic-Con, and then they're like, hey, by the way, have you seen all these like digital collectibles of these comics that are heavily beloved and like extremely collectible physically? And you know, we get celebrities on the platform. Like there's so many things that could happen between now and a year from now, right? So 1,000 to 2,500, I have no idea. Like 2,500 being very optimistic, and I think 1,000 being pretty conservative. Yeah. And the only reason why I'm saying it's like 1,000, because people are like, well, it hits 700. I think that's, again, a bit of an anomaly, and it only held that price for a day, like a little bit less than that. So not that long. And that's because we're going to have a lot of hard-hitting IPs between now and the end of the year, right? So that's going to also slow down the progress of Marvel Comics just a little bit. What do you think of the Donald Lenticular card? I own one. Just curious, dude. It's fantastic. I think gem for gem, Zoo. I think gem for gem, it's the best Lenticular card out of the set. I think it goes Donald, Minnie, not Minnie. So Donald, Mickey, Goofy. Then it's probably just a three-way tie between. No, it's probably a two-way tie between Pluto and Minnie, and then probably Daisy's last. But they're all fantastic. And after we get, like after Mickey, like between Goofy, Pluto, all that stuff, like percentage-wise of increase, like we're just splitting hairs at this point, right? Because I'm more curious, not about the dollar amount. I want the highest percentage, right? If I buy something for 100 gems and it goes up 50%, cool, I got 150, you know, I got 50 gem profit, whatever. But if I buy 10 things that cost 10 gems and it goes up 60%, I just made 60 gems. Like I'm more interested in the percentage rather than just the dollar amount, right? Which is why I do think in some ways, like Secret Rare comics have such a high upper limit. It's technically theoretical. Like it can go as high as it wants. You know, it's strictly based off supply and demand. The thing I like about ultra rare comics is that it can kind of ride off the coattails of the Secret Rares, but you don't have to pay that like super premium price. Like you don't need 13,000 gems to buy the Secret Rare of something. You can just spend 800 gems or 1,000 gems, and like you can buy. It's almost like buying portions of stock, like in a weird way. Like you don't need to buy a whole Bitcoin. You can buy a fraction of a Bitcoin in cryptocurrency, right? It's kind of the same thing in a weird way. Let's see. Babs sounds pessimistic, but you know what he actually is correct on his analysis. Yeah, dude, I'm just keeping it real. Like I'm not part of me is not, I try my best not to like badmouth, or like never badmouth people or their decisions. I'll just look at their investing strategy and like the way they do it. I'm like, okay, like whatever, like it's different than mine. If anything, it makes me curious why they invest the way they do. But when it comes to just things, I stick to what I know. I do expand when I can and try to understand as many facets or IPs as I can, but at the same time, yeah. And that's the thing. I do think early Veve was probably a little too overly optimistic, just because there was a ton of negativity. So I think that negativity was there to like, or the optimism was there to kind of like offset a lot of the negativity and the kind of the obscurity with like the app and like the really early days before I was hearing golden moments. So, but I think now we can get to the point where it's like, all right, now we can some valid criticism to the app, to some of the drops, to some of the you know, just to the other facets that are involved on the app. So I think we're at that point now where we can give like valid criticism. Would you sell Homer and Bart to buy a Donald Daisy Gold moment? Ooh, I usually say no. to honestly, I usually say no to selling a golden moment for another golden moment. But I don't think it's a bad move. Let me look at the chart again really quick before I kind of say that, because if I don't know, I feel like Homer's kind of up right now. Shit, that there goes. Stop sleeping comics. Let's fucking go. Let's do this. Mark Medina. My take. That would be apples and oranges. Yeah. It's just okay. So just from my thought process is so far, like every Disney person I've heard talk about golden moments, they talk about Minnie, Mickey, Donald. They talk about different golden moments. Like they talk R2D2. They talk about, Iron Man and stuff like that. Like people that are interested in Disney and Marvel and all that stuff. Honestly, I've never heard them bring up Simpsons. Like when I think Disney, I don't think Simpsons. Like is Simpsons a well-known thing? Yes, but I think if you put Simpsons alongside like Iron Man and R2D2 and Elsa and the Mickey hat and Donald and Daisy, like if I'm a Disney fan or any of those other things, like it's also hard to imagine that someone is a bigger Simpsons fan than they are like Star Wars or something else. I could be wrong. There's probably some people out there just like that, but that's just my take. Like Donald is very big, and especially it's a double FA. I mean, so is Homer and Bart, but I think people that are typically Simpsons fans are also fans of other IPs that Veve already has and that they're more willing to spend money on, right? Like I'm a Star Trek fan. I actually like Star Trek more than Star Wars. But if I had the money, I'd rather buy R2D2 or C3PO over, 5 or 6 ultra rare Enterprises or board cubes or whatever it is, because I just know it's just going to be better in the future, right? Like that's my take. I like Star Trek more than Star Wars. Just me personally as a fan. Like, yeah, is Star Wars like more aesthetically pleasing? Is it getting pushed out with tons of content because of Disney? Yes, but that's just my take. Bruin 88. Hello, Vibes. What's up, Tasia? I'm just gonna say Tasia. I don't know how to pronounce that first part. I apologize. What would you prefer to get? One Walt versus Batman Black and White set. Walt, for sure. Over the Batman Black and White set. Which is strange because I usually value options / like diversity, right? I like having the option to sell things off, but in my current predicament, I'd probably still pick Walt. The hardest part with like owning a single Walt is like figuring out when to sell it, right? Like when are you going to sell Walt? Like at any point, it's hard to determine like when to sell it. I think the real question is like, would you rather have one Walt or 2 sets of Black and White series, maybe even 3 sets? Even though it's more expensive, I think just the equivalency of that I think is a bit more accurate, at least in my take. Yeah, Bruin 88 thinks Walt too. The spin theory, I got a rare Spider-Man. Jump into action. Can you let me know more history on it? Price, action, history. Got a rare Spider. Okay. Did you buy it? Did you win it on drop? What do you want me to look at on it? Are you looking to? You said you own one, so are you looking to like sell it? Are you looking to trade for like another NFT? Because that's a big difference, right? I think some people, the way you phrase your question is important. I think this is just the sales size of me coming out. A lot of people are saying, "Hey, what do you think of this NFT?" But really, in their mind, they're like, "Hey, I own this NFT and I want to trade it for this other thing, or I want to sell it. Is it a good time now?" So I'm trying to determine, not only is it a good time to sell, but also is it worth selling it for another NFT? Because sometimes I'm like, if I think it's going to be an upgrade, like, yeah, sell it now, even though it's down. But if it's not an upgrade, or if you're just trying to sell it just for the raw gems, I'd probably say no. Jump into action. Yeah, we'll look at the price action, the history and stuff. Yeah, it's getting pretty rough for Rare Spider-Man. I can't believe he was at 710 at one point. He did push to 2400, and again, that's a bit of an anomaly. I mean, he did push 2K, went down, and I forgot what this is a term. I watched a video of another Veve content creator. Maybe it's like a marketing um, like a stock market thing. But there is a term for when something goes up and it goes down, and like it doesn't even go halfway, and it just kind of shoots back up. Um, there is a term for this, but you do see this pretty typically with like pretty high end NFTs where they shoot up, they go down, they like go up again, or there's a, and this had quite a bit of resistance on the way down too, right? Um, I'd probably just take the average of all this. I'm like looking at this retest down here as well as like this 2400 and this 2000. So if we took the average, let's say 1900, this thing has a ton of room to move. It's still 50% off from what I think. I don't really pay attention to this. I used to pay attention to this all-time high a lot. Now I just use it as like an average point to where the other candles are surrounding, and I think that's like more of an accurate like high point that it could potentially reach, because I do think these all-time highs are going to take like a long time to get to, especially since we're going to have MTL. People I think are going to value their gems a bit more, because I think people were just YOLOing gems in January because BV was already talking about MTL for like 10 months. People were just in a spending mood. We got off 12 days of VV. I think people liquidated a lot of stuff for 12 days of VV, and new people and new friends and family got into it. I've already explained why I think there's a huge pump happened. So yeah, I think this is kind of an anomaly price point, but who knows? I mean, I still think the biggest catalyst for pumps in the market is post MTL. Obviously, people are just buying things up like, cool, MTL's done. Everyone's kind of cashed out. We have new whales probably coming in buying and stuff because now they have an exit strategy. I think Q system is another small-ish pump, and then but OMI to NFT is by far the biggest pump I think we have in the future. But that won't happen till later this year. Listings are low, but that's all the stuff that was on the high end, right? So this is all the February stuff. So everything, all the listings that were priced between 1,000 and like 1,400 all just fell off, but it's so far away from the floor it doesn't matter. But that also does mean that once this price point breaks like 1,000, it could really start running at that point. So yeah, I'm not sure if you're looking to sell. If you're looking to sell, I'm just not sure what else you could buy in that price point. Like even if you wanted to buy like a dot, I would still think this would do a little bit better in the short term, medium term than like Doll on Daisy. Who knows? Not entirely sure, but that's the history if you wanted to look at it. Let's see. Oh, I keep forgetting to like hide this so you guys can actually see like the dates down here. Crypto Superhero, only 330, yeah, 33 editions of Goblins, and it will only be that many Mighty sets. That's true. I used to be, and I still am, very bullish on Green Goblin. I used to think Green Goblin was going to be the most expensive Marvel Mighty, which I don't think that's going to be the case. I was like, dude, it's low mints. It's super popular. Like all the Spider-Man stuff is just pumping on the app. Fantastic Four is doing like meh. But I think overall, it's probably going to be in between Red Skull and Doctor Doom long term. I think it's more Green Goblin's more popular than Red Skull, but not as popular as Doctor Doom. And given enough time, I think it will go up there. It's really hard for those Marvel Mighties to pump because they were just in literally the heart of the gem squeeze, right? Like early February. They were right smack in the middle, so it was hard for them to make any price movements. That's why it's so hard to kind of price out some of these drops that happen, like Black Panther, the lenticular cards. Like I do think some of those have a much higher upper limit than we realize, but then again, it's kind of shunted by the fact that there's like this massive gem squeeze and the MTL talk and bots and blah 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 and crypto dip and all that stuff happening at the same time. People saying everywhere VV is dead. That's kind of funny because I don't think it is. I don't know. Chris Patton, haven't got a drop in weeks. Got both today, and look at what happened. You're not the only one, dude, Chris. A ton of people were saying, and just joking, like, people were saying, wait, did VV just rug pull us? Which is not, but, I mean, it's still, what, not even 12 hours since these drops finished, right? So still plenty of time for the prices to go back up or whatever. And if you got a low mint, you can maybe ask for a higher price, like, just wait on it. And that's why I didn't even bother going for these drops. Like they're not hard hitting IPs, and I shouldn't see them doing that well. So I just skipped it. And that might just come with experience. Maybe I should have done a video, but like, I also don't want to encourage people like don't go for a drop. But then again, I'm here, telling people what the hell to buy with their money anyway. So yeah, I probably would have said like just don't go for the drop. Just play the secondary market, see if you can flip some stuff for profit, or if you really want something, just buy it for half off. You know. Let's see. Actually, I need to turn this on. Let's see. McMiller, as a diehard Trek fan, I agree with you. The Star Wars IP probably always trumps the Star Trek IP on this platform. That said, I love to see a bunch of Starship. Dude, I would love to see. Dude, give me some Romulan ships. Dude, give me the Birds of Prey from the Klingons. I don't even know what Ferengi ships look like. I'm sure they're somewhere in like some like expanded like Star Trek like content, but I don't think they're seen in any shows, or maybe they are, but maybe I don't remember what they look like. Give me the Stargazer that I think God, Riker used to be on, or maybe I think there's some sort of tie with Riker. Give me, I forgot the name of it, but that really kick-ass ship that was in Deep Space Nine with Benjamin Sisko as the captain and stuff. Like I forgot the name of that one, but like yeah, like we can get more ships, more. You know, I don't know how they would do like Picard and Kirk and Spock and Data and all that stuff. Like that would be cool as well. I'm sure there's some other ships or things they could do as well, and maybe get some aliens. You know, get the Klingons in there, get all that stuff in there. Like why not? I have seen all of the shows, but the original series, Picard. I still want to see Picard. I haven't heard the greatest reviews of it, but I'll watch Picard at some point, and then I think I'll also watch what's it called? I have watched like the first season and a half of Star Trek Discovery, but I kind of just stopped because I was like, all right, what am I even watching? I can appreciate that they went a different direction, but basically having the first officer, they don't call it a first mate. I think it's just a first officer. First officer basically commit mutiny in the first like the first like 30 minutes of the first episode, which is like only happened like twice in Star Trek history. I don't know. It was a bit jarring for me, as well as just the direction of the show. But I respect that they tried something different, but some other directions I don't like. Keystones S. I'm pretty sure that the best strategy we have right now is to accumulate the more we can until only the NFT is here. After it will be a big GG, well played. Exactly. The biggest catalyst right now is just post MTL. I think everyone's just waiting on MTL, including myself. So once MTL is formally announced, whatever, I think there's going to be a pretty big pump surrounding whatever MTL announcement is going to come up. So whenever all the whales are people that are ready to pull the trigger, because once there's a hard set date, Veve says, hey, like people are getting MTL, like starting this stand. They've already kind of loosely said that, but until there's an article that says, all right, people in larger groups are getting MTL from this date, let's say the second week of March or third week of March, and everyone's going to have it on the platform by the end of May. When that happens, whales that are looking for an exit strategy, because like Veve's been saying this for a while, right? So I think there are some whales that are ready to jump in, but they're like, look, I'm not getting in until Veve says it's actually coming out, because they could just drag this out for another 3-4 months, you know, and they don't want to jump in the app and do all this stuff, or, you know, whatever happens, or some weird legislation gets put on by government and all this and weird stuff happens, you know, like they're not going to jump in until there are some, I would assume, you know, just speculation here. So maybe when MTL is announced, people start dumping stuff, and like stuff could start pumping literally within, you know, once people start finally dumping it within the article release, people could just start sweeping floors or entire collectibles in a couple days after the announcement, and then everything is just gone. Like, all right, everyone that wants to cash out is already trying to cash out. We're just going to sweep the floor and just start really running away from stuff, right? But I do think owning the NFT is still by far the biggest pump, probably the market will ever see later this year. But yeah, I agree with you, Keystone. So the only thing is, like, maybe me being a little bit greedy, just because I don't have the means of like adding thousands of gems to the app like month over month, and I'm like, well, I'll just buy this and buy this, because I could just, if I can't buy this now, I could just buy it 2 weeks from now. You know, it's like I don't have those means. But if you do have those means, hell yeah, like start grabbing some stuff that you know is going to do well. And his flips, true, got a big bag of Omi, waiting for that too. Yeah, I think a lot of people do. Where's my weapon rack gang at? Stay strong, we'll get through this. Yeah, you're not alone, dude. There's a lot of people that bought, you know, just like you. either wanted on drop or they bought their weapon rack at box price or around box price, and it'll go up. Just give it enough time. But in general, the NFT space is falling. Probably. I don't know. I do think there is something different about Veve, that it is its own inclusive market. We do have a lot of catalysts, coming in our favor. So, and some of it could revolve around metaverse too, right? And even if the NFT market is falling, it's not going to fall forever. And even if it does keep falling, I do think whatever metaverse thing is going to come out in the next 1, 2, 3, 4 years, whatever it is, could revitalize NFTs. We'll see. Star Trek holder set here. Nice, dude. Hell yeah, Garrett. I still need to get a Enterprise for my dad, and maybe if I could squeeze in a board keep too. His birthday's coming up in July, so I might get him a. And he's on Veve. I think my brother's the one that talks to him mostly about it. About, hey, like, still a few of my friends have to text them like, hey, by the way, there's a drop this morning, like, be ready, or there's a drop tomorrow morning, like, be ready. I'm like, oh yeah, thanks for telling me, dude. I'm like, yeah, and it's hard because honestly, unless you're on Twitter or on Discord and you follow those things like very closely, you just don't know when drops will happen, because sometimes Veve doesn't even put up the like the drop page or like the drop like screen thing of like what things are going to drop in the future until like 16 hours before the drop. So like, let's say you're busy that day or whatever, but the whole like future drop thing tab on the app, like sometimes it's not there till like 16 hours before the drop. So it's not like it gives you a 1 or 2 day notice consistently. There's always a war, yes. Every space is falling, there's a war, yeah. I got my payout button today, submitted my KYC. Nice. Hell yeah, maybe I should check mine. Well, I'll check it later. I checked mine like 2 days ago. I probably don't have it, but yeah, that's awesome, dude. I really want to like test the payout feature. I won't withdraw a ton of gems or a ton of money. I might just do a little bit and do a video on just the process and how long it took, and kind of the step-by-step process for people that might be a little bit hesitant on how that works. I think that would be a good video. And of course, but it might be different because I do live in the US, so it's the majority of people on Veve are in the US, but there are some people that are international or in other countries, and they have to deal with like transfers of currency and all that stuff. I can't help with that. Like, I just don't know how that works. Picard's first command was the Stargazer. Cisco's ship was the Defiant, and the Ferengi ship looks like a croissant. I think I kind of remember that. It's been a while since I've watched Star Trek. I kind of got my roommate, I wouldn't say into Star Trek, but he watched the first couple episodes. He's like, yeah, I always heard Star Trek was pretty good. Like, I've seen the movies and they're okay. He's like, what? I just don't know where to start. I'm like, you got to start with Next Generation. Like, as much as I couldn't get through the original series, it was just like way too cringy, and a lot of the messaging was just kind of heavy-handed and just like very old school. Like, it is what it is. It's just a show of its time, right? And it shows. And I think I get enough of Picard and Spock and the show through memes and stuff when I see Picard like fighting aliens, but he's like jumping off walls and like doing weird wrestling moves. I'm just like, okay, dude. Or he's like, they're throwing rocks and it like hits this clearly rubber outfit, costumes, cosmetic on this alien. He's like, I just couldn't get through it personally, but I understand a lot of the messages and meanings and stuff. So I get all that through Next Generation. So I told him to watch Next Generation. So he liked the first couple episodes. Still have to update my birthday on the app, dude. I put that in Mendez Flips the other day. It literally took. I'll literally walk you guys through it right now. Let me see how to do it. If you don't know how to do it, that's it. That's not what I want. Okay, so this is what you do. It's not going to show any sensitive information or whatever on here. You guys can see that, right? That there's not birthday field and personal details anymore? Really? That's strange. I would still update it. Maybe they just removed it because they knew there was a ton of people getting tickets, including myself. Like, the second they announced like the MTL article, I put in a ticket right away. But if you guys still see it, or if you guys want to have your birthday actually be accurate on your app, go on the vv.me homepage, scroll all the way down to the bottom, go to support, all the way to the bottom. And this is all distraction. This in the middle, ignore all of this. Oh, Veve, Omi, store, ignore all that. Go down here, support a ticket. See, sneaky. Submit submit a support ticket. Then just follow the steps. It's gonna say, hey, if you've done a ticket before, please don't do it again, or something like that. Then you fill out all the information here. You tell what's up, and then you submit a ticket, and then that's it. So that is it. So just basically go to the Veve site, just scroll all the way down to the bottom twice and click the icon. So support and then submit a ticket. That's how I did it. I literally got an email back, I think like 16 hours later, and they fixed it. They're like, hey, it is accurate, but like the way we rolled back our time clock doesn't match up, but we fixed it for you anyway. I'm like, cool, thanks. I don't know. Like, thanks for doing that. Yeah, minute slips. If you still want to do it, even though it doesn't show it, maybe just send a support ticket and just say, hey, I noticed this was out of date before the most recent app update. I just want to make sure it's accurate. Please make sure it's this date and it reflects on the app, because it could be different on the back end. And then when you do MTL, or if you try to confirm something, or if something happens to your account, they try to confirm your birthday and it's off by a day, it doesn't hurt to put it in. And what are they going to say? Like, no, we're not going to update it. We're just going to leave it a day off. Like, I don't know. So that's what I would do. Ryan Sargent, hey Veve fam, I picked up an ultra rare gator. Okay, 616 today. Do you think it'll be worth a lot more in the future of the Marvel Universe thing? I think so. Ultra rare gator. So I'm assuming alligator Loki, right? I think so. Like, yeah, it's Earth 616. That's like that is the main Marvel Universe that we all know, right? That's the Peter Parker. That's the Steve Rogers. That's all the main characters that are part of the, I don't know, not lore, but like just the main cinematic like universe, whatever you want to call it, cinematic MCU, but like the main comic universe that we all know. Like all of the superheroes in like their original forms are part of 616. So yeah, I think so. Like, I think I almost guarantee you there will be a 616 collector out there that will want to get Marvel stuff. Like, it's inevitable. Like, it's too iconic of a thing, or too iconic of a number to just ignore, But no, Ryan Sargent, that's great, dude. And it doesn't matter what you paid for it. I do think eventually, given enough time, if you're willing to hold it for, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, like, it's going to go up in price, and you will find a buyer eventually, right? Maybe just leave it up on the app for like a ridiculously high price, and just see if someone approaches you, because someone's going to look at it one day. And as of right now, there's no means to, like, no one knows you have it unless you have it posted, right? So if you are looking for sellers, or I should say buyers, just put it up for like, just put it up for 50,000 gems or something like that. Just put it up for like a ridiculous price. And then someone will eventually approach you and be like, hey, I saw you have this. I'm a 616 collector, or whatever it is, right? Do they make you KYC to change your birthday? No, I don't think so. No. Oh, when I did the ticket, no. I didn't have to KYC at all. Not that I remember, but I don't remember them doing anything. I think they just have you fill out a bunch of information to probably just confirm that it's you, on the app. But other than that, no, there's like no KYC involved, or like picture taking or verify your license, anything like that. But I think when they do KYC for MTL, yeah, you'll have that information, as far as I know. All right. Oh my gosh. I'm actually caught up with chat, guys. This never happens. Holy hell. Let me see here. I'm going to spam some emotes, and we'll look at the top gainers and top losers on the hour after we look at what Mr. Dr. Tito has to say. Dr. Tito Mazza. Any thoughts on Superman under 3K? Is he really under 3K? I remember someone asked me, they're like, oh, could he hit 2K? I think that's a bit low, but it wouldn't surprise me. But technically, I think people have been buying Superman for under like 1,100 for quite some time. I'm trying to remember the chart. This price here. Okay, so like for under 1,500. People have been buying them for under 1,400. Hold on. So this price right here. Yeah, like so 1,600. People have been buying them for under 1,600 for a long time, and even cheaper than that if we're talking before November, or it's like before December, even like less than 1,000. So, I mean, if people are desperate enough, and again, I do think there are people on the app, not everyone, but I think a very small portion of people did buy gems off app. So if let's say you had 15, let's say you had 1,500 gems. Actually, yeah, let's say you had 1,500 gems. You buy app gems off app, you have 3,000 now. Let's say you buy Superman like right now for 3,000. You could still, and because MTL is basically 90 cents on the gem for the most part, not considering all the other fees and stuff like that, like technically you could still sell Superman and be profitable even if you sold them at what, like 2,000, something like that. Like you could sell them pretty low, and still make profit technically. So I'm not saying everyone that owns any expensive NFTs bought their gems off that. I still think probably 2%, 1 or 2% of people on the app probably bought their gems off app. Are there a significant amount of gems that were purchased off app? Probably, comparatively to the gems overall on the app. But the amount of people that have done it, I don't know exact numbers. Like I'm honestly just pulling numbers out of my ass. But at the same time, there are people on the app, such as myself or some other people that like, hey, I've only put a couple $100 in this, but my what's it called? My vault value is in the thousands or tens of thousands. I can still sell this for a loss technically, but I'm still up so much. It doesn't matter. Like I've only put 500 gems in the app or 1,000 gems on the app or dollars. It doesn't matter to me. I'm, once MTL is here, I'm just going to sell it and get my money and that's it. So I could see Superman getting as low as like worst case scenarios, like 2,000, but I think he'll probably, after the MTL announcement, all that stuff, probably chill maybe in like the 2,300s, 2,400s. But it's so hard to tell. Like not a lot of people saw this coming, and this continual squeeze. And as bigger IPs get announced between now and MTL, Superman's just going to dip even more. So it's hard to tell. Weapon racks will be great NFT for Auto Garage. Yeah, exactly. Genuine, I think so too. I think the main trick for that is like utility. If they do something in the Veve verse, it's gonna take some time to get there, but it could be good. What do you think a golden moment Simba or Mufasa will take? Maybe the number 3 spot behind R2D2 and Walt. Depends on the mints. Mark Medina. Also depends if it's like young Simba, mature Simba, teenage Simba, or Mufasa. Not sure. They'll be ranked up there. I don't think they're going to be above Star Wars, to be quite honest. It's hard to say. They could be up in the realm of, I think they would probably chill somewhere in between like Iron Man and like Homer and Bart, in my opinion. Maybe around Iron Man. Like Lion King's a big movie, but I mean, so is Iron Man, and Elsa, like the princesses and stuff, just in general. Like those are all very big. In my opinion, it's hard to tell where they would be, but I'm not sure if they would be that high. In my personal opinion, Star Wars is a massive, massive fan base and franchise. Like I think people are still underestimating how committed and fanatical, literally, is the Star Wars fandom. Did you go fat any of the drops of the day? No, I didn't. It's fat. I don't even meant for. No, I didn't go for any of the drops today. I didn't go fat or for any of the drops today, actually. Nogi All-Star. SR Barn Car thoughts? The 507 mint one? I think it's, what's it priced at right now? What's it at right now? Type in Martin? There it goes. $507. It's the 7. Okay, it's this one up here. It's below 5K. That's a long time play. That's like a long-term play. Did this go down to 4K at one point? Wow, it did. Like earlier today too. Jeez. I would still just wait. Oh, what's this market cap that just flew up? It says 475,000, then it jumps up to 2.8 million. That's strange. I think it's an okay. I think it's actually a fine purchase. I think it's a fine purchase. Of course, it's going to get a huge pump when there's like VVverse stuff, or if we get some maybe car collectors, 007 fans, like that kind of stuff. I do think this is something that will do like extremely well when it comes to like VVverse, if there's like integration gamification. But I mean, we're talking like 3 years away minimum, like bare minimum 3 years away, and that's assuming like Vivi's has actually outsourced the VVverse to someone else for like the last 3 years as well to actually work on it. If they haven't, then we're talking 5+ years. I have no idea, but resale. My birthday is off by a day. I didn't want to ask them to change it until I got my ID, but if they won't make me show ID to update it, then I want to get it done. Yeah, go for it, resale. Hell yeah, do it. I think all they want to know is just confirm the information in your app, because like when you signed up on your app, right, you didn't have to like confirm your actual like ID or anything like that. At least when I filled it out, they just want to make sure all the information matches the account. So like your first and last name, your actual birthday that you want it to match, and your email and all that. But other than that, I don't think there's any KYC with it. Of course. Vanessa's welcome rack will be good for a zombie apocalypse with Spider-Man and Captain America zombie chasing you. Hell yeah. Maybe eventually, maybe they'll do like a Walking Dead thing. That'd be kind of sick. Or like a Walking Dead, just various gross zombies. Or, ooh, if we did like Left 4 Dead, dude. If we had some like Left 4 Dead zombies, that'd be sick. Start partnering up with, technically it wasn't Valve, right? That made Left 4 Dead. I feel like Valve hasn't actually made a game in like 10 years. They just let other companies make games, and they just like acquire the license or the game or the company or whatever it is, however they do it. Legally to just buy the game off these companies and then sell it on Steam. But like Left 4 Dead thing would be kind of cool. I used to play the crap out of Left 4 Dead back in the day. That was a ton of fun. Jerry Clow, I got both. 1 year from now, we'll see how happy Gostek buyers are. Oh yeah, well even now it's like, I mean, I'm just gonna maximize this. Doesn't seem like anyone's asking any market questions, which is fine. Yeah, like the dude made a ton of money. Like I'm not sure how much of the money initially. Part of me thinks that the drop itself, I think the majority of the money actually goes to the independent artist, but then like a lot of the sales in the secondary market, that's when like they get a fraction and like Vivi gets a fraction. I'm not exact. I have no idea how that's divvied up. The initial drop, like the initial drop, right? Like I have no idea how that actually works. But he got paid today, so good for him, man. Ryan Sargent, hell yeah, dude. Thank you so much for the $5. Super chat $5. Hey, love your content and thanks so much for your input. When high alligator Loki now listed on the market. Haha, VV to the moon. Dude, 616 is big, dude. There will be. I'm trying to think of like even an equivalent number or like some. That's maybe it's not as obvious as like, oh, I have a 7, like a 007 in my mint for like the 007 series, but it's really up there, dude. Like. I would argue all of your comic book collectors are going to know for sure 616, but even some of your like relatively normie like MCU watchers or something like that, like probably even a handful of those people would understand 616. Or if there are people that are really wealthy that do know about Marvel, or they love Spider-Man or anything Marvel related, all you have to do is just ask one guy about like, hey, like why are all these like 616 mints like so high? They're like, oh, like that's the universe 616, like. That's what like all the stories that you read about Captain America, Spider-Man, Wolverine, like everything you read is taking place in 616, unless it's obviously announced that it's not taking place in that universe in the comics. But if it's not, it is in 616. And he's like, oh, that's cool. Maybe I will buy this for 60,000 gems or whatever. Like, who knows, right? So hell yeah, dude. That's an awesome purchase, Ryan Sargent. That's fantastic, and I really appreciate the $5, my man. And like I said, no matter what you paid for it, if you wait long enough, if you bought it for double the floor, triple the floor, or for floor price is fantastic. But even if you pay double or triple, it doesn't matter. Like given a time, it's gonna do great. Yeah, I think I already read that. I'm hodling till Euphoria. I'm talking mass adoption. Oh yeah, um, mass adoption of Veve as well. Like Veve is gonna really blow up over these next couple years, but I think it's just really gonna take off in general. Like if something like the Veve slash Metaverse or whoever is gonna be working on it and allowing Veve's NFTs to integrate with it. I mean, that's something that could like take. I think the metaverse in general probably will take at least like another 4 or 5 years minimum to get mass adopted by like the public, right? It could even take 7, 8 years, like who knows? But like melee ecomi worker charts are very cool, but searching capabilities can be maddening at times. Yeah, you have to backspace a bit. If you type too fast, sometimes it won't pick it up. So like if you type golden moments too fast, sometimes it'll either lag or not show it at all. But it's a work in progress. Plus, my computer's like ridiculously old, so it's also a big reason why it's relatively laggy. It's just my computer, like my hardware, plus streaming, plus other stuff going on. So it's mostly just on my end. I've heard on Discord that I think eventually Omi the Clown might allow some like referral links. So content creators like myself, or maybe anyone, will get like a small kickback if people sign up on their app. I'm not sure if that's a forever thing or maybe the first month, but if you guys are contemplating getting on ecomi wiki, I'm not saying to wait till I get my referral code. Like just sign up if you want it. But hopefully that will be a feature that comes out soon with Omi the Clown, and I would love to promote it. And that's going to be another way you guys can support me as well as yourselves. Like if someone wants to like donate me $5 or $10, because I think it's €10 a month, which is technically $13 a month right now. So if someone was going to give me $15, I'm like, dude, like just go get if you want to get, I don't give a shit, whatever. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Do whatever you want with your money, but the referral link thing will be pretty cool in the future. Comics are having a massive resurgence due to the Veve lately, and that's only going to get crazier. Even comics are getting more customers, and it's amazing to see. Stocking up on the Grail comics at the moment. Hell yeah, dude, Sean. I can't afford most of the Grails. Like, actually, let's take a look at like the comics that I consider the ones that I'm gonna invest in personally are these. So my comics. So Ghost Rider, I already have a few of these. Or actually, I have one ultra rare left. I sold a good amount of them. I still think all the comics are going to go down a tiny bit when MTL's announced, but like it's going to rebound up very quickly. First appearance of Doc Ock, Doctor Doom, Goblin. This is the only one that's kind of not even speculated, but the super low mints, and I do think Beta Ray Bill will make some more appearances in the future. I already clicked on that. That's my bad. Sorry. I'm weirdly. Okay, cool. Ultimate Fallout. So Miles Morales, Daredevil, Uncanny X-Men #4. So that's Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. Marvel Comics #1, obviously. FF1, obviously. Kang. Loki. Just the first series of Amazing Spider-Man. That's also another one. It's like Deadpool it's up there. So Deadpool's another one I would like consider investing in. And I'm focusing mostly just on the secret rares and ultra rares and stuff. So I can't afford most of the secret rares, which is why I'm probably focusing on the ultra rares. Because there could be comic book collectors that might not either be able to afford it, or maybe they don't like the cover art, whatever the reasoning is. Like there's going to be so many niche collectors, I think, coming into comics that like no matter what you buy, someone's going to want to buy it. There could be some people that like the black and white stuff. There could be some people that loathe the new art and they want to buy the more classic cover art, kind of like the Fantastic Four, like #1 art, because they didn't start actually adding more Veve exclusive art / like getting like outsourcing artists to do it, like Journey into Mystery. Like this one, actually, you can't pull it up. Darn, on ecomi wiki on the right side. You guys can't see anything I'm doing, huh? Don't. My bad. I was literally showing off all the ones I was looking at, but I think you guys understood the list. But like Journey into Mystery, this is one of the early comics that the ultra rare doesn't have like some BB exclusive art. It's just strictly black and white, and there could be comic book collectors that like that They might be like, I don't like these new artists that are making comic book covers. I like the Fantastic Four one. I like the Journey into Mystery one because it's the original cover and it's black and white and I like it. Like, cool. There's gonna be people like that, but there's always gonna be people that like stuff like the Ghost Rider cover because Ghost Rider Ultra Rare cover is just freaking awesome. I do like it a lot. So anyone and anything in between for comics, I do think there will be buyers for. So I'm not too worried. When I asked to update my B-Day, they replied, thanks for your inquiry. To update your date of birth, please provide a valid... Really? I didn't have to do that. Did I have to do that? Maybe I did. Honestly, I did this 3 weeks ago. I mean, I did the whole thing in 2 minutes, so I don't remember how it worked, to be quite honest. But if that is the case, yeah, maybe you do have to wait. Whoever brought it up earlier, resale. I'm sorry, maybe I was wrong. But Aaron, thanks for the heads up, dude. Maybe that is right. I don't remember doing that, but maybe I did. Is long-term hold for sure? Oh, hell yeah. In that case, buy everything. Buy it all. Sold my C3PO at 2.8, bought it back at 2.5. I thought I did something, but it keeps dipping. Should I just not? No, like, I don't know. So you made like what, like a 15 gem profit, no Gale Star? I not financial advice. I do think this next dip or MTL, whatever it is, we could see Iron Man touch 1,000, Elsa touch like 1,500, and I do think we could probably see C3PO touch 2,000 or maybe 1.9. It wouldn't surprise me, but at the same time, again, it could also start running too, right? That's the scary part, right? Is letting these NFTs go, and if you feel like you're flipping for profit or whatever, and even then, let's say you did this. Let's say you sold it for 2.5, and it just runs away. Let's say it does dip down. Like you sold it for 2.5, you get 2,300 out of it, and it goes down to 2K, and you're like, all right, maybe it'll go down a bit lower. Then all of a sudden, you go do something later that day, you check the app again, now it's at 2.6, and it's like, oh shit, like I lost my opportunity. Just buy something else. There's other golden moments, like there's other lenticular cards, there's Spider-Mans, there's Batmans, there's I mean, hell, you can probably get a decent secret rare or at least like 4 or 5 ultra rares with 2.5k, right? Like there's maybe three to 4 ultra rares. Like there's still other good things to pick up in the meantime, right? You can, if you're risky, like buy some Ben Rileys, like common Ben Rileys. Like those have a lot of room to move too, just because the low mints as well. So it's, just because your money initially went into golden moments doesn't mean it has to stay. I hate how this thing covers my face. I hate how this, like whenever I blow up a large message, it just covers my face. Just because you invested initially in the golden moments doesn't mean it needs to stay there, right? All you did was just free up money to just buy something else, right? Ideally, you buy back C3PO, but if it runs away, it runs away. Like, just, it is what it is. Like, there's other winners on the app than just C3PO. So don't, I'm not telling you to sell it, but if you are to sell it, kind of adopt that mindset where it's like, it would be cool to buy my C3PO back at a discount and like just gain some free gems. Like, that's always fun. Or maybe even get a lower mint. I've done that before too. But at the same time, if it runs away, it runs away. Just buy Iron Man plus like 2 lenticular cards, or buy Elsa, or buy, something else. Like just have a plan in place. And if you need help with that, let me know. Just have a plan in place to buy something else. Like all right, like, okay, C3PO already moved. What hasn't moved yet? All right, maybe the Daisy lenticular card, or Donald, or like I said, if you're a bit on the risky side, you can maybe buy some Ben Rileys, or what's that Captain America at? That Captain America / like Deadpool ultra rares, I think, do have a lot of room to move too, although it's a bit slower. I get his name wrong. Going deck, yeah, exactly. Let's go. All right, I need to catch up with chat. Just a wee bit behind, not by too much. I cannot wait for the ecomi wiki app. Preview looks slick. Yeah. Or sick, slick, whatever, same thing. Yeah, me too. I can't wait to actually do it on my phone. Maybe I'll actually do it on my phone instead to like help save my computer. Maybe I'll switch between the two, or maybe, yeah, I'll figure something out. But it would be sick. It would be awesome to have it on like the phone app, or have like an app or whatever. That'd be awesome. I would also be cool to, I was gonna probably have this for my members only, but I asked him if there was a way I could extract or export like lists of NFTs, or have like a link that if someone clicked it, like it's an ecomi link, and if they click it, there's a tab that opens up, or it shows like, you know, under this tab, my portfolio, there's a tab that just says like Veve Vibes' picks, and these are the picks I'm saying like, hey, this week, or these are the things I would pick up, you know, hey, these are my picks for the week. And you guys can click on the link. It's going to show the 5, 10, 15 NFTs, whatever it is, or maybe some comics. These are the picks I have for the week that I think that are going to do well, or I would buy them now while they're cheap, whatever it is. I can even maybe put a note at the top or something like that. So I think something like that would be really cool if you could actually have a link, or you can make like custom lists and share it with other people. Of course, Dr. Tito. Nogi All-Star, what's 616? So 616 is because Marvel as well as DC, they have there's a multiverse. There's literally hundreds of hundreds or thousands of universes that exist with different Spider-Mans and Batmans and all that stuff. Which is why the What If series is actually taking place over, sounds like, multiple multiverses at the same time, or like they all interact with each other. The one that we all know and love, all the characters, the Peter Parker, the Steve Rogers, the James Howlett, I think that's the name of Wolverine, like all those characters, they're all on 616. Like those are all the characters, they're all on this multiverse. So all of the original comics, all the original stories and the original characters and stuff is 616, to my knowledge. I think that's how it works. So, but if we go to 615 or 700 or world number 2, those are all different outcomes, because it's technically an infinite amount of outcomes when there's a decision and all that kind of stuff. So that's what 616 is, Nogi All-Star. It's pretty well known in like the comic book community, that at least people that like Marvel, like 616 is like basically here. I'm not sure if it's as meta as like that also encapsulates the viewers as well. So I don't know if the multiverse also involves like, hey, if like we go to multiverse number 2, like I said earlier, that also has its own real life Earth of like different people looking at it. I'm not sure if it's that in depth or meta, but I could have sworn that's also involved too, that like 616 also involves us as humans reading it, but I could be wrong. Maybe that's a little bit too meta. Veve Vibes, what is your goal with your gems? What are you looking at for planning on holding to cash out or buy back? Honestly, right now the only things I have that are profitable to sell is like my Steamboat Willie, some of my comics, or I should say pretty much almost all my comics, and I think like a couple of the like small NFTs that are worth like less than 100 gems that might not even be worth selling, that I'm still in the profit on. I'll be quite honest, I'm still somewhat on the fence of selling Steamboat Willie. Like, I know I've said I've been holding it. I think it could still do really well. I think if it ever does touch like probably 4K again in like the next few days, I might sell it off, because there's some good deals right now in the market. And if I had an extra 3,600 gems, 3,500 gems, I can make some moves. And again, just like I told Nogi All-Star, like it'd be cool to rebuy Steamboat Willie Ultra Rare, don't get me wrong, but there's still tons of winners on the app. I can buy other stuff, like there's Golden Moments, there's, like I said, I've already said all this stuff earlier, but there's other stuff I could buy too if things just start running away. So but like overall plan and stuff, like my overall plan with all this, to be quite honest, is like I would love to do this full time. I do need to do more content, more videos. I probably need to push it to like 5 streams a week, and maybe 4 to 5, and at least a video a day, plus any external content that I want to do either for my members. I also thought about doing it just depends, maybe even doing like a quick morning stream like before the drop, like maybe not during the drop, but doing like a quick morning stream before the drop. Maybe even doing like a podcast thing where I occasionally have on content creators, and maybe I won't stream it. Maybe I will stream it. Maybe I'll record the whole thing and I can like put it up later at the beginning of the week. Because I know there's a lot of people that watch my content, my streams or my videos while they're driving to work. Some people commute, an hour plus or whatever, and maybe having something that is a few hours long that they could just listen to is worthwhile to them. I don't know. I would have to test different things. Also considering doing different t-shirts and merch and all that stuff. So I'm actually been working on some different ideas for merch as well, that I want to sell like t-shirts and keep it like super simple. It's not gonna be like, ooh, Veve Vibes. I'm talking terms that only people that either invest in Omi or Veve would know. I think some of you guys already know this, but I would do terms like gem squeeze, or someone had a good idea where it says like got Todd, or I think a funny one would say market open, and there's just like a picture of the market closed like icon. Maybe I don't know if I can use that exact picture, but maybe I can use a similar looking like picture, but it just says market open. Like people are like, what is market open? Like you just don't know unless you're on Veve, right? Like it's just one of those like kind of funny inside jokes that you can wear. Like that's kind of what I mean about it. So I think, at least in my mind, if I was to hold on, let me go back. At least in my mind, if I was to buy a shirt, I don't want to buy like someone's like brand necessarily, or it's like, oh, Veve buys. And plus, if I were to like sell a shirt with my logo, I would want my logo to look way cooler. Like I probably need to have it like revamped or hire someone to maybe make a different logo. But I just don't feel like I need to like right now. MD, what do you think Meta is a good project? I haven't done any research on Meta, to be quite honest. I don't know how far along they are. I have no idea what they're working on or how many programmers they have or anything. Give me a sec. Hell yeah, I needed to fix the backdrop really quick. Not that it mattered, but I was like, I need maximum coverage of the stars and shit. I have no idea about Meta. I haven't done any research or anything on them. How far along they are, I don't know. All I know is that Facebook is throwing a shit ton of money at it. And I honestly hope it succeeds. I hope it does well so people can start adopting it. And then when we come out with our own thing, or maybe they merge with us, or whatever the hell needs to happen for our NFTs to be able to get on some sort of metaverse, doesn't matter which one it is. That's just going to be good for Veve, regardless. Whether we make it, whether someone else makes it, we form a partnership, whatever it is. Like that's the sooner the better, in my opinion. Edson, what are your thoughts if Veve added challenge drops where you have to have certain collectibles and comics to participate in drops? I think this will help move the market and bring something new to the app. Challenge drops, I don't know, like that's kind of like, I'm not sure if Veve wants to exclude content like that from people that can't afford it. Like, because as of right now, other than the box price, you're really not locked out of like any content or any drop. Like other than that, like you're not locked out of content. It almost feels like you're kind of like locking exclusive drops behind like a major paywall where it's like, oh, you need to own like these two more Macornos and this Kripken and this comic and this thing and this thing. Like I get what you mean, and that's actually like a pretty good idea, Edson. I'm just not sure how they would implement it, but I kind of like that idea. Where you're rewarded for ordering certain collectibles. And I thought about this in the future. I mean, I think me and maybe Dino or someone else talked about it, where eventually, oh my God, I'm blanking. David Yu said like, eventually there's going to be so many drops you have to pick a corner, right? I could easily see in the future, David Yu or Veve, whatever, would either make drops in the future. Like, let's say there's literally 3 drops happening at the exact same time. So even with the queue system, maybe you're only allowed to use one. Maybe you're only allowed to choose one of 3. So there's a Marvel drop, a DC drop, and a Disney drop. You can only pick one of the 3. So whichever one you're the bigger fan of, you can buy any of them in the secondary market. But whatever you're a bigger fan of, you pick one of the 3. Or you can choose any of them, but in order to participate in the Marvel drop, you have to have at least 5 Marvel NFTs. Or if you want to participate in this other one, you have to have at least this many NFTs. But then again, we're also kind of like not letting new people onto the platform until they buy a bunch of stuff in the secondary market. So not exactly sure about that, and I think that would help because it's going to suck because in the future, end of this year, when we have 10 million users, it's going to suck that every single drop, it's always you versus 10 million other people, which sucks. Like, I think that would suck a lot. So if they divided it up to even like 3 different drops at the same time, at least it's only you versus 3 million other users, right? At least it increases your chances a little bit. It's still super low, but I'd rather have that than just constantly 10 million, 10 million, 10 million, 15 million. As it goes up, it's like, holy hell. Like, so something like that. I can see what you mean, Edson, in that. Someone said that's what 616 Marvel comic book main universe. Pretty much. That's pretty much it. Prince Mark Anthony answered it in a much shorter fashion than I could. Mike Mueller, I signed up a couple weeks ago. It's a cool site. I wish the pricing information was live and worked like the stock market charts. I live in that world. Nice. I mean, it's as live as it can get because I think Omi the Clown has pretty much direct access to the API. I don't know if it's like something that he negotiated or talked about with Veve, but I think as far as I know, he can. I don't know if he can only physically do it every hour, or Veve only allows him to do it every hour. There's another chart called Cherry Charts. There's another site, but that's only updated every day, so that's a bit different. So like as like the most up to date and accurate. Whoops. So if you want like the most up to date accurate charts, technically ecomi wiki is the best for that because it's every hour on the hour. But Cherry Charts, I believe, is only once per day. So at the very end of the day, it takes a screenshot and it is what it is. So. Hey, can you check Harley Quinn's FA all-time high, please? Sure. That really quick. In the meantime, we'll pull this up. I could have sworn her all-time high was what? It was pretty far up there. I want to say 1,500. I don't think it was 2K. I think that was FA Joker. But maybe FA Harley was like 1,300? Or I don't think it was that high. Okay, 1,200. I felt 1,500 was too much, which is why I said 13, but still. Yeah, and the thing I do like it is like there was a candle beforehand, but I do see some. I like to prefer to take the average, like I said, like during January, end of January, things were just pumping ridiculously high. So I don't think that should be like. I don't think we're gonna hit these numbers for months, to be quite honest. We could probably hit these numbers, ones that are like 600, 700, 800, 900 might take a while. Because I think now that MTL is going to basically be getting rolled out, I think people might hold their gems a little bit closer because now it's like, all right, every gem is technically 90 cents a gem, right? With MTL cash out for the most part. Before, it was just play money, and it still is in a way. But yeah, all-time high is technically 1,200, but if I had to take an average, I would probably do it a little bit closer to like 950. So she's at 460 right now. I mean, she could get down here because, I mean, if we look back here, people have been buying her for below 300. Or 350, I should say, for like a long time. People have been buying her for below 200 as well. So it could get pretty low. And especially since the 2.5% fee, I think people do flip these a lot. Maybe not so much recently because we are in a very, very gem squeeze, obviously just very, very bearish market. But after MTL, things could start going up. I do think DC is going to have to work twice as hard to go up versus like Disney and Marvel. But other than that, it's still a good purchase. Is there anyone in chat that has access to the payout button? We'll have to see a statistic on how many people have access to MTL already. I could have sworn someone said they had it earlier. I'm trying to remember who it was. Someone said they had access, like literally someone earlier in my chat said they had access to MTL. Don't have access, by the way. Yeah. So what's your thoughts on, do you feel like banning all the bots wouldn't necessarily be all good? Because I think a lot of the users are bots and a lot of buying them and selling the app are bots. So what are your thoughts on what to do? Do you feel like banning all the bots wouldn't necessarily be all good? Because I'm thinking a lot of the users are bots and a lot of the buying and selling in app are bots. I mean, still just ban the bots when you can, obviously, but you can't get them all, right? Yeah, I'm not in support of bots by any means necessary, but I'm not exactly sure what you're asking. I think you're saying, should we ban the bots because they have so many gems, they circulate the market and blah blah. Like, not really, because the gems don't move anywhere, right? All they do is just trade it to someone else. So I think we should just leave the, baiting the bots isn't going to help. It's going to remove gems from the market because if we ban their account, they don't have access to it. They can't buy anything. They can't do anything. So, it'll remove maybe a decent amount of gems from the market. But overall, like, yeah, we should just ban bots, just get rid of them. But if by banning them, like, they're not adding, I mean, by not banning them, they're not adding or removing like gems to the market because it's just circulating, right? I don't know. I think that's what you're asking. Resale. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah. But the real question I want to ask is like, how many people? Because they say we have active 2.1 million users, 2 million users. I don't know what active users we have, and they consider an active user someone that logs in once a month or once a week, I think. I want to know how many users are on Veve on non-drop days. That's what I want to know. Because I think that will give us a slightly rough guess as to how many bots are. Because bots aren't logging in during non-drop days, right? They log in, they win the drop, they put it up for sale, or maybe they just keep trying to undercut the next person. They usually sell it the same day, I would imagine. And then they don't touch the app again until the next drop. Like, that's just how it works. But there's a lot of people, like, there's quite a few of my friends that literally log in for the drop, try the drop. If they lose, they log off and they're done for 2-3 more days until there's the next drop. Like, there's a lot of people that do that as well. The market is live. Just watch Veve's floor. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that too. When you do see some sort of movement on ecomi wiki, that's when I check it out live, right? Because sometimes things can move, or you're able to catch it. I'm not pro bot, but I think that there's a lot of traffic that come with them. I know it's controversial, but I'm just wondering your thought. I think I answered the question. Obviously, we should just get rid of them, right? I don't even care if it removes gems from the market or whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. And the thing is, like, even when they do cash out, they're not removing gems from the market. They're just trading it to someone else. And that's it. Maybe there's gems lost technically with the trade because someone puts up a Bigfoot Kripken for 20,000 gems and then they buy it. So there's some loss there. But other than that, like, they're not, even when they cash out, they're not doing anything in the market because those same gems are still in the market. But if we ban them, now we're removing gems from the market. That's a bit different. But even then, like, I just ban bot. I don't know. Still holding Simba for now. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Resale drops will still sell out instantly, even without bots, and the secondary market sells are mostly real people. Also, behind every bot, we still have real people with real money. I think we good. Yeah, exactly. And even if you do ban on the bots, they can always make more. They just make new accounts, whatever it is. Like, you can't fight them off forever. And that's the thing. Like, it's hard for Veve to find out if something is a bot until they probably win a drop, or until, like, they win a few drops, or the second, whatever it is, whatever the detection system works. It's not like it works immediately. It's not like you create a new account and it immediately detects if you're a bot. You're probably gonna have to go through a few drops before it notices. So at least I would imagine. I don't think I will crash, but I just think a lot of the numbers are inflated, and both good and bad, because of bots. I think so too. Don't get me wrong. Who knows? If we literally banned every single bot on the platform, out of the 2 million active users we have, the user base could go down to like 1.2 million. Like, we could legitimately have 800,000 bots on the app right now, currently. Like, the numbers are doubling. Maybe even, who knows? I don't know. I know that could be an exaggeration, but it's also very easy to have one person have 10 phones, 15 phones, whatever it is. I still agree, though, that banning people is not the way, especially if innocent users get caught in the net. Yeah, it's kind of hard not to get real users caught in the net. If we want to be more aggressive about banning bots, real life people will occasionally get caught. Like, algorithms and stuff aren't infallible. Like, I don't know, you can't have it all, but I do think the customer service on VVZ needs to be swifter on. And that's another thing too. Like, how do you know someone's innocent, right? They could just say, like, this is bullshit. You just, is it just like, if the person complains enough, they're innocent? Like, how do we know if they're really botting or not? Like, dude, like, the activity is still on your account, or the botting, or whatever it is. Like, hey, we just noticed, like, it's getting kind of sketchy. Like, but it's BS. It's BS. You can't prove it. Like, okay, like, I don't know. Like, it's hard to tell who's innocent and who's not, right? People even brought that up in multiple Twitter spaces I've heard of. Like, it's like, hey, some people that get caught probably are botting. Like, oh, did I skip this? No, banning forever is not okay. I understand a bot net, but there's a lot of people who don't read TOS, including myself. Yeah, I think it should be kind of assumed that botting is, and it's not a criminal act, right? At least in the US, it's just against terms of service. So as far as I know, Veve They're kind of going through some lawyers and stuff to figure out like what they can and can't do. But as far as I know, they cannot take away your NFTs. Like once you buy it, you bought it. You know, getting an NFT with a bot is against terms of service, but not an illegal activity. So they can't just like take it away or whatever it is. It's like technically you own it for the most part, even though you get it against terms of service. It is what it is, right? But yeah, I'm not exactly sure how that would work or how that person would get their stuff back, or if they're banned for 10 years or 5 years or for forever. Like, hey, you technically own it, you just don't have access to it. Like, who knows what kind of legal loopholes like Veve could pull off or what they do. I don't know. Just bought Eternals #1 SR. Feels great. Feels like great price. Maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Eternals. All comics. I think I sold a con of one of those like a week ago or something. I think I just wanted the gems. I bought it for super cheap. Eternals #1 SR. Let's see. Oh wow, it's 638 gems. Cool. Does this have like a significant first appearance, or maybe is it just part of the show? To be honest, I still have not seen the show, and I actually might watch some of it. First appearance of the Eternals. Okay, cool. Yeah. Holy moly. What a jump. Look at that. Ladies and gents. Look at that jump. So, March, what is that? Did I zoom in too much? Nope, that's right. So 450 towards the very, very beginning of March 4th. And then, yeah, heck yeah. Being pumped to 6 whatever. Nice. Even if you bought at 630, I mean, it still has a lot of room to move. Maybe people were kind of initially a little overeager, a little overhyped because the Eternals like movie or show or whatever it is. But hell yeah, dude. Even if you bought it now, wait long enough, secret rare of the Eternals, that's going to be a thing. And if they come out with more Eternals movies, again, I haven't seen the show. I don't know if they're going to come out with more sequels or more shows or movies. I have no idea. I think that's cool, dude. Hell yeah. Congrats. Is that your first secret rare? Like your first secret rare comic? If that is, that's sick. I think I've never owned a secret rare comic, but I think one day I do want to own one. Are you more bullish on Black Panther SR or Deadpool SR? Probably Black Panther, to be quite honest. Like, unless Veve can go in and like really change like the heavy metadata on like, because even if you remove the outfit for Deadpool, he still has like that like goofy ass like Christmas dance with the music and all that stuff. So like, I don't know if people like that. Like Black Panther is legit. He's got the backflip, he's got the jump forward, he's got like the leap plus the double slash and like jump back. Like that's really, really cool. So I'd probably say Black Panther personally, even though Deadpool is that's tough. It really depends. I mean, we're getting a Black Panther movie. I will say I don't even know. Let's pull up the freaking numbers. Let's see what the hell they're doing. Because that's gonna really matter. Oof. Dude, Edson, thank you so much for joining the Common Gang, dude. So this is one thing I don't like about Restream. I can literally not see it. Like, in case you guys are curious, this is what I see. Might look a little Inception-ish. Oof, there it goes. So on the right side here, here's my chat. It's going to look very Inception-ish. It doesn't tell me at all that Edson signed up for, like, anytime someone, like, it showed the donation earlier, but anytime it shows, like, because Edson signed up, but it doesn't show it on here. So that's one thing I don't like about Restream is, like, it doesn't show, like, the little nuances. It doesn't show the customizable emotes that I can do or other people can do. Like, that's why I have my phone here to kind of show me that. But, dude, Edson, thank you so much for signing up, being the Common Gang, man. Hell yeah. You can do these emotes now. Enjoy. Hell yeah. I'm still waiting for the day where someone's like, I don't know. Like Common Groot? Common Groot, up or down? I don't know. But yeah, between the two, let me look up Panther. Kind of picks it up a bit better. I will say, like, one thing that is going for Deadpool's the secret rare. The hell is it? The one thing that a couple things going for the Deadpool's, I will say, don't get me wrong, a lot of people like Black Panther, but I do think there's probably more people in like the meme like crypto community that might like Deadpool. I know it seems like really weird. Deadpool does have less mints than the secret rare. Does have less mints than the secret rare Black Panther. I don't know. Another good thing about Deadpool is that it actually has some history of hitting some like really high numbers just because it's been on the app for a while and has matured for a while. So like, I mean, the dude has history of hitting 4K. Black Panther doesn't have anything like that. Just because it hasn't been on the app long enough. It's been around since before the major gem squeeze, so that definitely helps it as well. Because we have a lot of people up here, probably between January 11th and February 4th. So we have people here for almost a month just hodling like hell. Probably they're like, oh my god, I bought this thing for 3.5K. Now it's at 1,500. I'm just gonna hodl. Like, why sell? I'm just gonna hodl, right? Like, there's a lot of people like that with Deadpool. So I don't know. Honestly, if I had to pick, can't go wrong with either, but I might give a slight edge to Deadpool. But I mean, that's super, super close. There needs to be consequences, 100%, but let me do this so it's not covering my face. There needs to be consequence 100%, but what entails should not be lifetime ban of it. If there's lifetime ban, there should be some description, but you have all the bots with a mill. Yeah, I don't know how that would work. Reasons so hard. Dane, what's up? Dude, I'm burping this monster going right through me. What if Vibes was running? What percentage of your entire account value is locked up in Disney IPs? Just wondering if you collected off-brand items at all. If so, which ones? Off-brand. Let me look at it. Collection. I'm just gonna say it out loud what the IP is, and you guys can kind of get the gist of what it is. I still have 2,000 gems left over, and I do want to invest in like different comics and stuff. So. Disney, Marvel, Disney, DC, Disney, Marvel, Disney, Marvel, Ghostbusters, Marvel, Disney, Marvel, Disney. And then the comics, right? So, yeah. So mostly Disney and Marvel for the most part. One DC that I'm down almost across the board and everything, and then some comics, right? So that's pretty much my vault, in case you guys were wondering. But Dane, there you go. I hope that helps. I definitely did not need to supply an ID to have my birthday fixed. They just said the time zone fixed my B-day to be 1 day earlier. They fixed it without my ID. Mike Mueller. Okay, cool. Like I don't. Maybe they changed the way they change birthdays or whatever. Maybe if you changed your birthday a long time ago, they're like, it's a more formal process of showing ID. But now they probably get so many, they're just like, all right, what time zone? Okay, cool, it's fixed. Like, whatever. Like, maybe. Market Clopin. Like that. Green Truck t-shirt. I don't know if I could use the exact same logo. I'd probably have to like, part of me would have to like message someone at Veve, but like, yo, can I use the green truck or can I use the actual logo of like the market for like a t-shirt? I do think people would buy those. What do you think about today's art? I think it's okay. I almost bought it uncommon at around 30 gems. I was staring at it. I'm like, do I want this? I kind of passed up on it. And if I do want to buy it later, I'll just buy it next gem squeeze or next announcement. That's going to cause the price to crash like even harder. So that's my take. Yeah, uncommon's at 38. Like, yeah, whatever. You know where the new investment of gem data comes from? I see on Twitter that X amount is coming in. How much is that? How's that measured? I have no idea. I think Puddin Cheeks is the person that like does all the information on that. Who I don't know if that's someone that works at Veve or if that's just like a Veve content creator or just someone that's like really just familiar with the analytics or has access to something. I have no idea even who Pudding Cheeks is, but Nathan Scully, I'm not sure. That's from X-Files. I haven't watched X-Files actually, believe it or not. I think I've seen like an episode here and there. I think I watched like the first couple episodes and I liked it. I just never really picked it up again just because I had other stuff going on. I've done that with a lot of shows where I liked it, but then just something else happens in life and I just forget. Nice, thanks for telling. Do you think it's random or were you like super early or something? I onboarded in February last year. Didn't even want access. Just curious. Oh, I skipped Edson's thing about KYC info. Yeah, I don't know. BB Vibes, what's your favorite meal? Oof. What is my favorite meal? Either, I don't know, like anything with carnitas. Like I love carnitas tacos. Like I remember growing up, I used to only eat like chicken or steak when I would go to these places. And I remember my dad took me to this like really small like taqueria on the corner or whatever. And I went there and he's like, have you ever had carnitas? I'm like, what the hell is that? He's like, oh, it's pork. I'm like, oh, okay. Like bacon? He's like, close enough. He's like, just try it. You'll like it. Trust me. And I had it. I'm like, oh my God. Still remember that day, even till today. So that's so good. Dude, I like it all. Steak, pizza. Trying to think of something I would like legitimately never say no to. I don't know, like barbecue, like brisket, just like so hard to say that. Like barbecue pork or something like that. Ugh. Like any like barbecue pork, like sliders and stuff. Like hell yeah. Dude, all that stuff is super good. I love all that stuff. I know it's super unhealthy and I'm trying to like eat better and all that stuff and like get in better shape. You know, summer in Arizona, you gotta be ripped, you gotta be tan, not bald. I gotta offset the baldness by getting in good shape. So maybe I need to start doing push-ups on stream, start doing pull-ups and stuff. Get in, you know, I need to get in as good a shape as Dino because Dino's in way better shape than me. He's doing way more exercise than I am on stream. So I need to catch up to him. But Mendez flips, yeah, I would like maybe just anything with pork. I'll just say that, anything with pork. Dude, I love bacon. I love carnitas. Pork sliders, like all freaking day. MD, it's random because me and 10 of my other friends who signed up, same as me. I was the only one who got it started since the beginning. The only one difference. Oh, interesting. And again, Edson, thank you so much for signing up as the being a common gang member. Appreciate that. I think before I was going to limit my streams just to like the tier 2 people. I might do it for anyone that signs up. I still want to do a private stream occasionally for my members. So I think maybe once I get like 10 or 15 members that consistently show up, it seems like there's 4 or 5 of you guys that do show up pretty consistently. I might start doing my private streams. I don't know, would you guys prefer at the beginning or the end of the streams? Like any of you guys that are members or any of you guys that aren't members or would become a member, I was thinking about having a 30-minute segment either before or at the end of the stream where it's just private. It's just me and you. We just talk about Veve. We can talk about food. We can talk about video games, talk about whatever it is. Talk about anything. You guys have my undivided attention for 30 minutes. So that was trippy. Yeah, it was trippy. I'm like, this might look a little bit weird. And I knew it would. Steve Rogers price predictions or just predictions? Let's pull up Steve Rogers. Pull up Stevie, our boy Steve. I think he'll do well. I think he's gonna be one of the better Marvel Mighties, which isn't saying a whole lot. I do think the Marvel Mighties that will do best on the platform are like, in my opinion, the villains, like gem for gem, followed by like Spidey 2099, and maybe the other Spider-Man people, like literally Spider-Man, Go Spider, and that's kind of it. The villains I think will do by far the best, and then you know Steve Rogers will definitely be up there too. I already clicked it. Damn, it's gonna refresh. Huh? There it goes. This Matt Gondek painting is extremely undervalued. Really, hang with me. Maybe it's just it's the exact same reason, right? I think it seemed like Veve tried really hard to like pump up this art, right? Like they had him on an AMA, they had him on there for a while, like talking with people and fielding questions. They even sent out an email about the Matt Gondek like art, which I think the last time I got like a Veve email about a drop might have been Golden Moments, maybe 12 Days of Veve, but like they seem to be like really pushing this, right? And the fact that he said like, "Oh, thank you so much for this drop," and he got like tweeted by like the official Veve Collectibles. Like I think the other independent artists were like, "Oh, thanks for this," and they didn't get retweeted. Not that that's like a huge deal, but it definitely seemed like they put a little bit more attention on this like independent artist as of recent. So yeah, but dude, Steve Rogers, he's at 216, now he's at 65. I mean, he's got a lot of resistance. I like seeing these like spikes as he's going down. Like people are not letting Steve Rogers go without a fight. So I think he's getting to the point now where he's starting to hit like a real bottom. I mean, he could maybe push 55, like he could maybe push 60, 55, but like I think 55 is going to be his absolute bottom. Like I do not see him going any lower than that personally. That's getting to the point where people are either breaking even or just like not making enough profit to make it worth it to sell off, at least in my mind. So yeah, like now's a great time to buy. Listings are also super low too. This thing is probably pretty primed to take off, even though there's 30,000 of that. Sorry. Just noticed that graph was, I apologize guys. I'm still working with this new software or this new stream stuff. Yeah, sorry. 65, absolute bottom. 55, probably down here. This will probably be its like absolute bottom. Because now we're getting to the point where like people that would sell it are like either breaking even or like hardly making any gems to make it worthwhile for a sale. So, but it could go lower. Who knows? There are some people that are willing to sell for a small loss just to cash out or whatever. So we'll see. Hell yeah. And like the listings are super low. It's almost, based on this, it's almost an all-time low for listings. Like it's really getting down there. Hell yeah. I think it's actually a pretty good pickup. Hell, I might get some myself. We'll see. If it gets any lower, hell, I might buy a few. I kind of want to buy some bigger purchases first, but like any leftover gems I have, I think Steve Rogers is a pretty decent pickup. Thien, that's a good question. I appreciate that, dude. Kind of like looking at NFTs that I either haven't looked up in a while or just ones that just have really good looking charts. Like, of course, this looks this looks very bad. Like, don't get me wrong, like overall, but I think it could do a reversal with like the low listings, and it's a first appearance. Like, there's something to these Marvel Mighties if there's so many first appearances tied to them. This Matt Gondik painting is extremely undervalued. I agree. Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. The DP previous high is now price resistance. Yeah, pretty much. I agree. It's going to take a while for it to go back up. Like all of these are. I do think this pump that happened in like the second and third week of January when things like really took off. This is a bit of an anomaly. And I think now with MTL come out, I think people will be a little bit smarter with their gems and not just yellow them at things or start people are still going to chase pumps, don't get me wrong, but people might do them a little less often now that like there's actual money tied to these gems. Like there's actually a way to cash out. Sorry about my horrible spelling. I start checking before I comment. Any undervalued comics you're looking at sub 5, like sub 500? Interesting. And it's okay, dude. I think I just make it harder on myself than it needs to be. Like I know what you're trying to say, but then I reread it, and it's also too because sorry if you guys like trip out because of this. I'm gonna show it again. On my screen, you can see here like that text down here is like really hard to read. It's in gray, and with my bright screen, I'm like trying to look at it closely. So sometimes it's not always the way you spelled stuff. Sometimes it's just hard to read. I don't know why on my end it's light gray, but on your guys' end it's like dark. It's black. Like it's super easy to read. So not sure why that's the case, but it is what it is. 500. I assumed you meant 500. So let's see here. Well, spelling, check out any undervalued comics you're looking at sub. So when you're saying sub 500, immediately in my mind, any like secret rare comics that are sub 500 right now aren't worth picking up because they're probably trash. Let's be honest, they're probably trash if they're sub 500. Let me actually open this. This actually might help This actually might be a bit easier, strangely enough. So this is a little hack that I use on occasion. I'm actually looking at Mason Fuzzy. What's up, dude? Yo. Look at how low storm comments are. I'll check that in a bit. So we have comics pulled up. This is the, in case you guys are wondering, this is the Veve set list. This checks the pricing compared to what's the best comic to buy for per gem for per MCP. So the things that have the worst dollar per MCP typically are really, really good on the app. So things under 500 gems. And I'm me personally, if I'm investing 500 gems, if you're trying to buy, let's just assume you're trying to buy one comic, right? One comic. Let's open this up. Hell, 660 for a Thor. Not bad. Uncanny X-Men number 4 for 510. That's pretty good. And we can see here that I kind of like Boodle's list a little bit more than like Veve rank. I just like how he orders it from top down and then left to right. I think Veve rank is a very, very good guide, or like a rough guide on how. I apologize, guys, if this chart is very, very bright. I apologize, but we just have to just deal with it. I might message him on Twitter next time. I think he's heard of me before. There was someone did put out a tweet about both of us, which was super nice. If there's a dark mode, because this is like blinded by the light. It's really bright. So X-Men. So he has X-Men number 4 up here, like top 10. Based on the comics we have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So top 10 in his mind. I do think Sleeping Comics has it pretty high up there as well. So like, I mean, Uncanny X-Men number 4 for 510. That's pretty good. Even though I thought this one recently pumped, right? Did this one like recently pump? So that's an option. Let's just say that. I'm not saying to buy that, but that's just an option. Things are getting laggy now because I got like a bunch of tabs open. Computer's having an aneurysm. Comics. Ultra rare. Is that 4? Is that 405? Okay, maybe that price isn't up to date, but still. This is not right. Why does it say 21,000? 405. Yeah, this one pumped really hard. Okay, okay, maybe not this one for now. Back when it was at 250, hell yeah, that probably would have been a good time to buy, but maybe not. Maybe not this moment. Soft pass on that. Let's just say a soft pass. Journey into Mystery 85? Is that first appearance of Loki? That's not it, right? 85? That can't be right. Whoops. The hell am I looking at? The hell? No. I think that's 70 something. There's always Ghost Rider too. Like this, the Ghost Rider Ultra Rare is just fantastic. It's below, it's at like 280. Like that's also fantastic. I don't think this is what I think it is. I also don't know why. Okay, there it is. It's up to date. Still being weird. It is first appearance of Loki. Like this is a pretty good one to pick up for sub 500, I think. It's also held its value very well. Like, yeah, okay, to 400 for a bit, but like it's also peaked at 600. Like it's making some moves. Like it's also just held its value. It's not going, like, honestly, if this was a collectible, it probably would have gone like, you know, if this was an equivalent of a collectible where it's high tier but not like necessarily a grail, it probably would be down to like 300, and listings would probably be up here. Like if this was like a drop equivalent, for the most part. So, I mean, that's a pretty good one. Oh, what am I doing here? Not that one. This one. Not Veve rank. All right, we'll do one more. Plus, there's always the rare. I would say look at this list. If you find something that's in your price range, just like look it up on either Bodul NFT. Let me put this in chat for you guys so you guys can like look at it yourself. Hopefully it'll work. I'm sorry if this like blinds the ever living shit out of you, but it is what it is. Like, but yeah, just look at these. Like, I think these are all going to be good, and also just stacking comments too. There's nothing wrong with that. So I'm assuming you mean one thing. With 500 gems, I would try and get like an ultra rare, maybe a rare if it's like a really high tier thing, like Fantastic Four #1, Ultimate Fallout 4 #1. Like those are decent. I don't know. And this is the part I struggle with. It's like, all right, what's going to move more, Ultimate Fallout 4 rare or ultra rare Journey into Mystery? Like, okay, the price difference is like 50 or 60 gems, but like, which one has more potential to move? I don't know. Like, I mean, what's it called? It's Journey into Mystery. It's the second highest rarity and has very low mints. I mean, comparatively to other ultra rares, the mints are double as high, but still, I don't know. I kind of hope that helped, and I spent really long on this question, so I apologize for anyone else that's kind of waiting. And what'd you say, Storm? I also need to expand this. Good God, I'm behind chat. But what else is new? Why is Storm not popping up? The vibes don't lie to us. Your favorite meal is eggs. Actually, in a strange way, not by choice, but just because I'm, trying to get in better shape. I do eat a shit ton of eggs. You can ask my roommate. I do eat a shit ton of eggs. I buy them that huge case where they're like double stacked. There's like 60 eggs. I probably go through that in less than a week, and I need to buy another, 60 case of it. At least if I'm eating like I'm supposed to, I go through in a week, but I usually don't. So, Storm Commons, 54 gems. Oh no, that's the uncommon. And this is why, in some ways, are you saying like the number of listings or what? I'm not exactly sure. Not exactly sure what you're talking about. Look at how low Storm Commons are. They're low, but it's not like an all-time low, right? But yeah, they're low. I mean, they're almost box price. So, what am I investing in currently? I'm looking to invest in. Honestly, I'm waiting for another dip before I really start investing. Like my last 2,300 gems. I'll probably either get into ultra rare comics or, again, golden moments, lenticular cards, that stuff. Also depends on future drops too, right? So that's kind of what I'm looking at. I'm just kind of holding off for now. I think maybe Black Panther will be new FA Spider-Man. Also, since the actor that played Black Panther died, there may not be any future editions of Black Panther, unlike Spider-Man, which Ben Reilly and Marvel Mighties. Maybe not. They could also do the new Black Panther, right? Which might be taken over by, at least in the MCU universe, either by Storm or, I don't know if it's his brother or something. I'll be honest, I still have not seen the Black Panther movie. I've been meaning to watch it like a bunch of times, but I just keep forgetting it and I keep wanting to watch it. But maybe that's why maybe that's why I probably picked Deadpool over Black Panther. Not entirely sure, but I just thought of a random funny thought, but not exactly. Let's see. Eat paleo or keto? I don't know. I feel like I don't necessarily need to. It's just mostly I don't need to follow any of those super strict diet restrictions. I played football and sports for like a long time, and I know how to eat relatively healthy. I know what I need to eat. It's mostly just I just need to work out a bit more frequently and be just a little bit more disciplined with my food. I think switching to keto isn't going to help me like lose weight. It's mostly just a discipline thing at the end of the day. So if I switch to keto, I'd still be eating other shit. Like, I don't know. Marvel Spotlight number 5 pumping again. Doesn't surprise me. I vote for end of stream if you get past all the answered questions. You get past all of the answered questions. Maybe. We'll see. How long have I been on for? A little over 2 hours. I do want to start keeping my streams to probably like 2.5 hours. And I think what I want to do is have my streams be, my public streams be 2 hours long, and then have my, either my first or my last 30 minutes, I'm not sure how I'm going to order it, be a member only stream where you guys just get my undivided attention. So if this was a more formal stream 10 minutes ago, I would have said, all right, guys, there's the end of the stream. Members, stay behind. Please ask any questions you want. You know, bye, everyone. Bye. And then members can stick around and we just talk about whatever. You guys could talk about, you know, anything. I might present some ideas to you that I might have about future videos, or, hey, I thought about this thumbnail or whatever, you know, just get your guys' input on different things. Maybe also like t-shirts or like memorabilia that I want to sell, or if you guys have ideas and stuff. So I think end of stream would be good. Okay. Low carb is life-changing. Yeah, I've tried. You know what the bane of my existence is I go to Target occasionally for food, and they have these like the Target brand like sweet potato chips. I think they're just sweet potato chips. They are so good. I am addicted to them. They're relatively healthy compared to like the other potato chips. Like, it's still unhealthy. Like, don't get me wrong. But dude, I legitimately eat a whole bag of those in one sitting. And I think it's also because I do need to come up with a way to like eat in a way where it's more filling. Like, sometimes after I do a series of workouts, or after I do, especially leg day, you know, you just burn so many calories and your body's just starving for nutrients, right? It's just like, after I eat eggs and various other things that are relatively light for the most part, like my body's like still so hungry. And I know there's ways to suppress that hunger by like, it's like you can have like a protein shake where it just kind of like fills you up, but not really. I've heard other ways you can kind of like fill yourself up as well, but I have to figure that out myself. I've been pretty familiar with diet, nutrition, and working out and all that stuff. So like, I know how to get there. It's mostly just the discipline of getting there, right? The hardest part isn't like, oh, what do I need to do? It's usually like just doing it, you know, day after day. This new artist bricked hard. His OpenSea NFTs are way better. Well, it's because OpenSea doesn't have, you know, doesn't have Disney and Marvel and DC. It doesn't have a bunch of like hard hitting IPs. A lot of independent artists are getting like, it's rough for them because they're competing with, you know, Storm, Captain America, you know, some of the most popular comics that have ever existed, like in real life. Like, it's hard to compete with those, right? It's, you know, Batman, like Spider-Man, like how the hell do you compete with that? Like, people want to spend their money on that, like not so much your stuff. So, but if there is Immutable X or OpenSea and all that stuff, like that, they will do well off app for the most part. But it's hard to thrive in this environment. That just says VVIPs are bigger than OpenSea projects. Exactly. So OpenSea stuff is better. What dropped on Veve? Or you've got the Bart poster instead. Yeah, I saw that Bart poster. There's also one of like Mickey. His like face is like coming off, or something weird. Like, it's pretty cool. Whoops. Put this one up. See, Rose, you probably already answered this. You think Weapons Rack will be long-term hold? It'll go up in price. If you got it on drop, just hold it. It'll go up in price. If you bought it low or now, just hold it if you want to get rid of it. If you want to sell it now and take a small loss, I wouldn't blame you. You know, if you need the gems now and not 3 or 4 days from now or weeks from now, yeah, it's going to go up in price. Just give it enough time. And it's not like the Weapons Rack, like the art poster isn't bad looking, but the weapon rack, you know, it's okay, but I don't think it's going to stay below box price forever, right? Dude, my nose is killing me. What is your C3PO price prediction for the long run? When's your Discord group coming out? Dude, to be honest, I probably won't do a Discord thing anytime soon. If I do it, it'll probably be like members only. Just the idea of like, and maybe I have the wrong kind of mentality about this, but like just the idea of like babysitting like a Discord group, making sure there's like no shady stuff going on in like the other channels, making sure everyone's like following the rules and no one's trying to scam each other, and people giving false information or having just a bunch of randos showing up in my stream and like trolling people. Like it just sounds like a headache. Like what was it just a few weeks ago? Like all the stuff that kind of happened in the community with, uh, like all the stuff that happened in the community with like Veve Vault, and then like people trying to impersonate like content creators and then scamming other people, or this person said this, or there's screenshots of that, and like Cabell Anderson, and like people are like, there's a pump group kind of like hiding in like the corners of his like channels. I'm like, dude, this just sounds like a headache. Like, and plus like when I type stuff out, like people might just take it out of context, or like I don't know, it just seems like more effort than it's worth. And I'm on Discord like a pretty decent amount of the time, but like I'm in Veve Vault's Discord, I'm in Veve Vision's Discord. I think I was in another Discord, but like I'm never like, I just don't have enough time to like hang out in there like all the time and like talk to people. Only occasionally do I jump on the Veve official Discord and talk in market chat like around a drop time, or when the market's closed, maybe I'll just kind of shoot the shit in there occasionally. Like, but other than that, like running an entire Discord and groups and giving people mod, accessibility and like having them potential, like I don't know. It just seems more effort than it's worth. And on top of that, it just, I don't know. That's just my take. It's probably like very overly pessimistic. Like, don't get me wrong. It's probably not going to be like that at all. Or maybe it's, most of the stuff I'm saying won't happen. But also like, I just don't feel like I'd be able to physically be around enough around the Discord to like constantly field questions, constantly help people out, introduce them and do giveaways and all that stuff. I don't know. Azukaverse, what's up, dude? Eggs are number one. Yep, I eat a ton of eggs. A ton of eggs, black beans, pinto beans. No, not pinto beans. Red, black and kidney beans. I eat a lot of those. A lot of hot sauce. No ranch, none of that. None of that's like very heavy fattening stuff. It's mostly like, it's kind of what I eat. Occasionally, I have oatmeal in the morning if I'm doing like sometimes I'll eat. I should be doing this, but I don't. Stop eating at like roughly 6 p.m., maybe 5 or 6 p.m. That's like my last meal of the day, and then don't eat for the rest of the day. And when I wake up in the morning, I'll just eat. And this is to like mostly lose fat. Is like I'll actually work out on an empty stomach. Maybe I'll have a cup of coffee if I need it, but black, like no cream, no sugar, no nothing. That's kind of like intermittent fasting for the most part. That's pretty much what it is. And I don't eat till like later in the day. The only time I don't do that is if I'm doing leg day, because I feel like there's times where I'm doing legs and like there's a couple times I did it without eating for like 12 hours or something like that. And I start getting like lightheaded and stuff. I'm like, I don't think I should be doing this. So those are the days I wake up a bit earlier. I'll have a thing of oatmeal with a tiny amount of peanut butter and like cinnamon, like a tiny amount of peanut butter, just enough to like give it some flavor that I'm not just like eating tree bark. And then I work out from there. What do you subscribe to? Ecomi Wiki for the charts? Yeah, I am subscribed. So if you want these charts, you gotta be subscribed. You gotta pay the clown €10, which is $14 if you're US. It's like $13.50. It's some price point between $13 and $14 a month, which is well worth it for me. It also helps that I'm like getting paid to do this content through ads, donations, subscribers, members, people that are part of the common gang, like all that stuff like helps pay for it. And I did say before, it sounds like Omi the Clown will do some sort of like referral link thing. So I might start putting a link in the description of all my videos as well as my streams. Or maybe I'll have a thing running at the top that he says that when people sign up, I'll get a small kickback. Is that month over month? Is that a first time sign up? I have no idea. But regardless, if you guys want to support me that way, if you guys are interested in Ecomi Wiki, eventually that link is coming out. If you guys want Ecomi Wiki now, like just go buy it. But if that's going to be hopefully another way to support me later. Okay. I can't watch Black Panther either. A Tech Society chucking spears seems like a contradiction. Yeah, it does seem a bit funny. Hold on. Yeah, no guns. No, not as far as I don't know. I haven't seen the movie. That's not the reason I haven't seen the movie. It's just I haven't gotten around to it. I honestly just keep forgetting to watch it. So it's not like, oh, I don't want to watch it because it seems weird or silly or whatever. Like I have no idea. But damn, woke up from a nap and this man's still alive. LMAO, love it. What's up, disease for dinner? We've been streaming for, I don't know, 2 hours and 20 minutes. You guys are used to Dino. Dino streams for like 30 minutes and then jumps off. You know, an hour and a half. I think the longest I've ever seen him stream is, I think, 3 hours. I remember. Do you guys remember like a month ago or like 3 weeks ago? I would have like 4 or 5 hour streams. That's when I had like literally nothing better to do and did not respect my time. I mean, not much has changed, but I do kind of want to limit my time and yeah, I don't know. That's all I gotta say. Pixel Trader. Ayo. I know Pixel Trader. I've been seeing a lot of your tweets recently on just random stuff on Twitter, posting memes when like ecomi wiki says something, or stuff about like the Omi burn, or things about like the recent drops and stuff. But did you play the drops today? Pixel Trader, or Disease for Dinner, or Yo Crypto? Any of you guys play today's drop? Like, how'd that play out? Your streaming hustle is otherworldly, dude. I don't know, not as crazy as I would say Randy Chavez. He goes all out. He's very consistent. He goes all out. I don't know. He definitely. Let's see here. Definitely goes all out, and he brings a lot of awesome content. And he's, in some ways, he's more multifaceted than I am. I think just because I have my nose in the market so much, I think like, yeah, I memorize prices and what I think is going to do well. And I think me and him think the same way when it comes to investing on the market. But he knows more about other cryptos and just very well rounded about just knowing a lot of shit in real life. Thanks for letting me know about the wiki subscription. I wasn't sure if it was real. Yeah, I mean, it says you go to the ecomi wiki. That's the like official site. If you go to market, it says right here. Got to open this. I should probably just make sure my face is still here. There's a premium listing here. So scroll up. It says premium. So premium means you have to pay, right? If you click on it, it's going to ask you to like sign up or start paying or come up with like a payment method. Then it does that. But this stuff is free though. You scroll down, this stuff is free. So the free tables, boo, it's disabled for maintenance right now. But it's cool because it just shows you the current price, what the price was like a week ago, 3 months ago, 6 months ago, 9 months ago, which is really helpful. Before I didn't have that. Before it just said what the drop price was and what the current price is, and that's it. But like now he gives you a little bit of history. But if you want to see like the day-to-day or like the hour-to-hour stuff, like of like what's really happening in the market, you got to buy their premium stuff. He has the smart account valuations. That's basically the vault. And then Twitter alerts. That's the, we'll go ahead and click on it so you guys can see what it is. I don't think I'm signed. Yeah, I'm not signed in on what's it called? On Twitter, on Google Chrome, but it's called Alice and Veve. So if you follow this as well as, you know, put the little notification on, it'll notify you. It says, hey, there is a jaunty jig, bit number 1172, sitting at floor. So it tells you for alerting the Twitter sphere, if there's a NFT that's in the bottom 20 percentile of mints, it'll notify you. So if you're like a relatively low mint hunter, this is a good way to kind of keep an eye out. Like this one right here, it says 2071 out of 22,000 Captain America First Avenger. That's less than 10%. So that's like a bottom 9% NFT, which is a pretty good deal. This one is basically bottom 9% again. This one's a bottom 10%. Bottom 10%. So they're getting pretty lucky. A lot of these are like bottom like 10 or 9%. Usually it's always like 15 to 20%. They're like kind of low, but not low enough to like pay premium, but it's at floor price. So why not, right? Let's see. Let's go back. So that's another cool thing. I mean, and that's free too. You just click on that, and you say, let's go, and just does its thing. And then Mint Hunters sounds like that's something he's working on. Maybe people can do a public post saying, hey, I have this mint number of this NFT. you want to come find it or come get it, whatever. Vibes, I can help you with your stream to help you improve it. I have a IT background, so I'm familiar with different streaming software. Awesome. Thanks, Edson. Yeah, that'd be cool. It's mostly just because my computer is just like very old, dude. Like it's, let me see if I can find the, hold on. Give me a sec here. Let's try this. Actually, I want to do this. What do I want to do? I'm looking for something. I want that. I'm trying to find out like where all of your specs are, like on your computer. Like there's a spot, I think it's control panel. I'm trying to remember, it's been a while. Where it just like shows like the specs of your computer. Is this it? Is that it? Hold on. I think I almost got it. I'm almost there. I'm kind of figuring it out. I've only done this like a handful of times. Here, I'll just take a screenshot so it's not like showing everything, but. I don't know, do I want to show that information? I don't know, I'll just show this. It's pretty much it. And then, I don't think it matters, but I'll just. But this is essentially. I have an Intel Core i7 4790K CPU, 4 gigahertz, and 32 gigs of RAM. 31.9 gigs usable, whatever. Plus, I have like a God, what the hell is it called? I do have a it's like an R9. Good God, what the hell is it called? I have to look up something else again. This one I do know. It's also an old gaming what's it called? Driver, or like an old gaming dice keyboard. Where the hell is it? I'm sorry, I apologize. I'm like looking through my hardware and stuff to like look this stuff up, but I'm just kind of giving Edson as well as myself just kind of a reminder of like the stuff I have on this computer. That's not it. An AMD Radeon R9. It says 200 series, but it's technically like a 290. I don't know. AMD Radeon R9 290. So it's a bit old school. It's. Thanks for that, dude. Got a 4-minute rebound on the weapons rack today. How did you do? I didn't get nada. I didn't even bother with the drops, to be quite honest. I didn't bother. Computer has good enough specs. We can discuss another time. Yeah. Also could be the internet too. I'm literally using a Wi-Fi adapter on the back of my computer. Like the modem's in like my roommate's room next door, but we have to like feed a wire like probably like 40 feet, which I do have an Ethernet cord that we can probably connect it, but I didn't think it made that much of a difference. But if that would make a huge difference, because it feels like the lag is coming from my computer and not the internet. Like when I'm clicking on something on here, as the ecomi wiki or whatever, it feels like it's a hardware issue, not like my internet like lagging and stuff. At least that's how I feel. But GPU, yeah, GPU. I was looking up. I had to look up like device manager so I could like find like my GPU on there. But cool. Let's do this really quick. Yeah, maybe we will end stream here pretty soon. I do want to do top gainers as well as top losers. Just guys, we haven't looked at them yet. That will make a huge difference. Look into getting a power line adapter. What the hell is that? Just out of curiosity, I'm just gonna look it up like super quick. Power line adapter. Okay. Really? The hell? All right. I'm just looking at pictures and not like what it actually is, but it seems interesting enough. So cool. Thanks for the update. Or thanks for hooking me up with that idea. Yeah, we're looking at top gainers. It's still off on here. When I click top gainers, it shows me like random NFTs that are like down. So I'm not that sure if that's something he still hasn't fixed yet. So if we do top losers, it kind of shows the same thing, like everything is 0, but it also shows positives. It's like, it almost shows the exact same list, whether I do top gainers or top losers. It shows the exact same list, which is kind of weird. Yeah, I'm not too sure. It's a bit weird. Does it do it for comics? That's the real question. Comics. We've been talking about comics a lot recently. Yeah, same thing with comics. I'm going top gainers and it's showing me a bunch of negatives and some stuff that broke even or didn't move. And yeah, it's being weird right now. That is a bit strange. All right, maybe at the very least we'll look at the comics that I look at, because I most of these are pretty top tier. I don't have like the first appearance of Vision or the first appearance of like Kingpin, like, which are all relatively like pretty top tier comics like in real life. I haven't picked those just because I think comic book collectors are gonna get those, but I think people, the more recognizable characters, especially like MCU characters, I think are gonna do well. Marvel Spotlight number 5 is down, but again, it's someone said it was pumping earlier, so maybe the market still hasn't picked that up yet. Ultra Rare Spider-Man is down a bit, but the Secret Rare is up about 170 gems. Fantastic Four Secret Rare is down. Gosh, this thing is actually doing pretty well. Fantastic Four number 5. It's kind of crazy how this one is pumping so hard. I know it's Fantastic Four number 5, but is there any reason why it's pumping so hard? I know there was this crazy thing that happened the other day where it was at like 800 or 850. It was at 875. Then it pumped all the way up to like 1.9K just because the listings were so low and it just really started running. And then people started undercutting and finally like putting up more listings. But even then, it's kind of like really holding its value. Like I know it's the first appearance of Doctor Doom, but I'm trying to remember, is there something else with this? I could have sworn someone said like this is also the first time like there was like a VV exclusive cover, but I thought that was going for the comic that had like the Watcher or something like that. I'm not sure. Wow, Green Goblin is actually down. So Amazing Spider-Man number 14, Green Goblin's down to 660. Ultra Rare is down to 159. Secret Rare, Beta Ray Bill. Kind of, I don't know. I've been teasing the idea of Beta Ray Bill for like a minute on here. Still not sure if I want to buy one. Maybe I'll have to run it by Sleeping in Comics and some other people. Like, hey, what do you think about Beta Ray Bill? Like, it's a low mint. He might make some future appearances. I think he's kind of cool. Ultimate Fallout at 800 I think is a pretty good deal. He was at 900 not too long ago. Still not sure why the listings are messed up. It says they're all 21,000, which is just not the case. Daredevil number 1, it actually pushed up to 700. This was at like 640 the other day. Maybe 650. Uncanny X-Men. This is the one that we looked at earlier. This actually heavily pumped. This was at 250 like 2 or 3 days ago. Now it's went up 150 gems. So that thing pumped like 40%. Marvel Comics just doing its thing. Secret Rare Avengers, that's Kang, I believe. So 8,600. Avengers is chilling. I think there's also another one. Like I know it's not a VV art exclusive, and it looks. I think these art covers that are just black and white of the ultra rares like God, those first couple comics are so boring, like comparatively to the new ones, because it's all it is like here's the normal cover, here's the uncommon cover with like a little bit of color, here's the rare with a little bit more color or different color, here's the ultra rare with no color, and here's a, I don't know, it was, those ones are kind of boring. But then again, it's still ultra rare cover, and it's still first appearance of Loki, which is a big deal. Fantastic Four number 8 is, I think, is also pretty good. Under 8. Amazing Spider-Man for under 8. That's pretty much it, I would say. New Mutants for under 2. I kind of want to check out that chart. I know a lot of people say New Mutants is like so undervalued, but is it really though? Is this like, is first appearance of Deadpool, is it just because it's first appearance of Deadpool, or is this like also a pretty coveted comic by comic book collectors as well? Because as of right now, like Ghost Rider's just spanking the ass of New Mutants, or at least like Deadpool, because it's a top tier like Bronze Age comic. But Deadpool or like New Mutants, I don't know. Couldn't tell you. Yo, trying to send you a message. How can I reach you? Just on Twitter, dude. If you go down the description of this video, if you click on the link, it says, it should say like my Twitter handle, or at least like my Twitter. Just click on that, add me as a, just follow me, and then send me a personal message on there. I don't have Twitter pulled up right now. I know my phone's on Do Not Disturb just because I'm kind of tracking the health of the stream through it. Plus, it also shows me stuff on this stream that it doesn't show me on Restream. So there's that as well. So yeah, that's how you would do it, Azukaverse. So yeah, that's the best way to reach me. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna get off here in like 2 minutes, unless you guys have any like burning questions about stuff on like the market or myself or Veve or anything like that. I'm gonna hop off here. All collectibles. In the meantime, we'll pull up Golden Moments, see how they're doing. See how they're doing. $6.65. Oh no, we looked at these earlier, but okay. Donald Daisy moved up $2. It's making moves. C3PO still holding strong at 2.3. I remember my friend texted me. C3PO was at 2K like the other day. It might have been 2 days ago. My friend's like, dude, C3PO's at 2K. It's only like 100 or 200 gems more than Elsa right now. I'm like, dude, that's crazy. And I was, at that time, I was already trying to liquidate stuff, but I didn't have one to buy a C3PO. But even then, even if I could, I probably wouldn't have scooped it, just because, to be honest, with my last like 2,000 gems, I do kind of want to like make some relatively short-term plays, because like that's pretty much like my play money, right? Because if I use up all those gems, I just don't have like a way to like just put in, like I said, thousands of gems. I get to keep buying more shit. So kind of just making the most I can out of those gems, like me personally. Let's see, C3PO is here. Yeah, he was lower. He was at 2K for a while. It's not showing it on this list, but he was at 2K like a day or two ago. Iron Man's up a bit, so it looks like it was at like 1.4. Now it's at like mid 1.4. Wally at 830. So things are slightly upticking right now. I think people are done seeing these prices be so low, so there's a slight uptick with certain things, but that's pretty much it. So all right, that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for stopping by. Please double and triple check all of your orders before you post stuff so you don't screw yourself. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Take care and